Hello guys and welcome back to the Football Social. We're here for a seminal game. It's Manchester City versus Liverpool at the Etihad. Joining me are these beautiful gentlemen. It's a distinctly Football Daily flavour on the sofa today. Obviously Will Brazzy on the end there, part of the furniture now, can't get rid of him. But James Wayne, the City fan. It's my paramour, Patrick Van Straten.
Cheers, babe.
And Michael McCubbin, fresh back from Berlin. Now, we've got some interesting score predictions, guys. Let's start with you, James Wayne, as the Manchester City fan. What have you gone for?
I've gone for 2-1, but I kind of don't believe it. I want City to win, obviously, but Liverpool have been very dominant. But I think the last game we played against them, 0-0, it looked like we dominated that game. We're at home, so I've gone for 2-1.
If they score that Mahrez penalty, of course, they don't have that unbeaten record to keep bleating on about. Let's go reverse order then. I've gone 3-2 to Liverpool. Just instinctively think they're going to punish you. Defensively looked a little bit more suspect recently than ever before. Of course, lost 3 of your last 4. I've gone for Salah, first goal scorer, 120-1. Not sure how my odds are much more favourable than yours. Pato, you've gone for 2-1 to Liverpool.
Yeah, I think I'm not really excited about their midfield today, and I think they have shown some defensive weaknesses recently, Liverpool. But I think they're going to play totally differently away at City to how they've done against, say, Arsenal at home. I think they're going to sit deep and counter-attack, and generally speaking, that's worked really well when they've played Man City.
Interesting. McCubbs, you've gone for 1-1.
Sterling.
Sterling.
Boring scoreline of the lot. Sterling to score first. I think he's finally going to get that goal. I believe he hasn't scored against Liverpool for City yet, has he? So I think he's finally going to get that. That does mean that Aguero wouldn't score at the Etihad against Liverpool for the first time in his career, which I saw earlier, which is pretty crazy. Yeah, I think it is still going to be a very exciting game, but I just think because City literally cannot afford to lose this game, I think there's just going to be a certain point where they would rather... There's going to be a certain point where they do shut up shop to an extent and don't maybe throw as many bodies forward as they usually would.
Guardiola pretty punchy about it pre-match, saying that if they lose this game, the league is probably beyond them. Will, you've gone for your usual outlandish result, odds of 1,250-1. Can you briefly explain that, please, you madman?
Dare to dream, Chris, is what I always say. We're here for stream, we're here for entertainment, so I want goals, I want 6 of them, and I want defenders scoring them, goalkeepers scoring them, and just general fun.
So who did you go first goal scorer?
Laporte.
Oh, yeah?
Wow,
Oh, 50p, Ed. He's pretty handy from a corner, though, isn't he? So it might come in. Right. Let's go to team news next, gentlemen, to see the movers and shakers of each starting XI. So pretty much as is for Manchester City. Obviously, Fernandinho returning, Silva returning. So big players back in your starting lineup. Sane getting the nod there down the left. What fills you with confidence in this team?
The fact we've got Fernandinho back, mainly. I think that he is such an important player to our team. The fact that he can kind of break up play and control the game that I don't think any player in City can do. We've seen Gundogan try and fill that role and it's not worked. So for me, Fernandinho is an extremely important player. Laporte, left-back's very interesting for the fact that he played the Champions League games against Liverpool in that position. Didn't do too well, but I think currently he's solidified his place, and justifiably so, in this team, and I think it won't be as bad as last time, hopefully anyway.
Okay, let's go. So Liverpool then. Alisson there, Alexander-Arnold, it's the back four you'd expect, a very workmanlike midfield three, which is a stark comparison to the forward triumvirate. Patrick Van Straten, do you think Klopp has found the right balance here?
I think it's strange that Fabinho is not making an appearance. I understand why you play Milner, but Henderson seems a little bit odder to me, because Henderson to me is the control player. He's the guy you play against the teams lower in the league when you're going to have the majority of the ball. In this match, I see why you play Wijnaldum if you're going to counter-attack. He's so useful as a supporter in the attack. But I would definitely play Fabinho here. I think he's been excellent recently, and in terms of breaking up play, he and Keita are the 2 standout midfielders they have. So it's an interesting selection. I genuinely don't know how that midfield's going to work against City's midfield 3.
Any notes on the starting lineups there coming from both? Or still feeling the ramifications of that flight?
A little bit. Did did get in at about 8 a.m. this morning. But,
What a trooper.
Had an afternoon snooze though. I think it's not overly surprising. Not overly surprising. I think to be fair, like Pat, it's surprising to see Fabinho not in there when he's been in such good form recently. Because you just expect
him.
Yeah,
in every
sure.
part of the game, isn't he? He's starting to create chances now as well, really taking responsibility in the centre of midfield. Will?
Yeah.
Thoughts on the game, mate? You looked a bit dead behind the eyes there, Will.
I'm trying to do...
Lights were on and no one was home, mate.
I'm getting all the questions in from social as well, but yeah, I did get to see some football over the Christmas period. One game was Bromsgrove Sporting versus Barnstable, which I know you boys should go and check that one out.
The vlog specialist.
The other was Man City versus Leicester, and I did think Man City without Gundogan looked like a completely different team. Like, they started so well, and then Leicester just sort of dominated them and got back on top.
I've been told we have some lovely visuals of Klopp that are being floated in right now. Let's take a look at those bad boys. Oh, hello. Look at that stern face.
There it is.
That's a bounce. Is
Now-
that a bouncer you might have encountered in Berlin?
Not happy.
Gentlemen, probably the most important question I'm going to ask you tonight. Are you pro Klopp or anti Klopp? Because his touchline antics do annoy people, but I find them quite endearing. Starting with you, McCubs, mate. Jump right in there.
I think they stopped being endearing after about 3 months, didn't they? I mean, you can only do them for so long before they do start becoming annoying. And like when you're a new manager in the league, it's fine and whatnot. But it's just his whole shtick is it's just like
You think he needs to
you
rein
kind of
it
see
in?
through it. It's not it's not.
What? He's won over the fans, rein it in now.
Yeah, I think sort of like, but I'm a United fan, and I also tend to kind of like to dislike likeable kind of people in football. So yeah.
Man, Scott, you're a bit of
an act, isn't it?
You're a bit of a cynic. If Liverpool win this, is it all over?
Almost certainly, yeah. It's extremely rare to be as far ahead as they would be at this stage of the season. To be 10 points ahead and as good as they are. Like in the season that Leicester won the league, being 10 points ahead might not have been that big a deal because they weren't as outstanding as these sides are. Whereas you don't expect Liverpool to drop that many points. Look at it this way. If it were in La Liga and Barcelona or Real Madrid were 10 points ahead, we'd consider it almost sewn up because it's very unlikely a team that good will lose this many points. And even if Man City are better than Liverpool over the back half of the season, it's very unlikely they'll be 10 points better.
Yeah. No team that's been in first place with a points margin of +7 has ever surrendered top spots.
Come on, Liverpool.
So pretty ominous.
They should break some records, though, shouldn't they?
They should. And they're currently on track for 102 points, which would be doubly annoying for City fans, wouldn't it? If they broke that record as well. The Centurions, of course, from last year. And there is a man who played a massive part in it warming up, KDB. Obviously, injuries have prevented him from being as influential this campaign, but he's back, James Wayne. Does that fill you with confidence now that he's fit, he's firing?
Of course. Like, he came on, I think, for about 30 minutes before he got his second injury, and he didn't look like he was fully fit. He came back, I can't remember who it was against now, but he looked like his old self. It took a little bit of a while, to get back into the game, and when he did get into the game, he flourished like he usually does. So if he can get on the pitch today, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a little bit of magic from him.
Yeah, and talking of magic, mate, we're going to Mo Salah next in the warm-up. He has been in scintillating form of late. Started the season a little bit slow, but we said, didn't we, on Football Daily, that his shot numbers were still good. He was still getting good opportunities inside the box. The goals will come, and lo and behold, they have for that whole forward line. Now, how much do you think he's going to play a part in this game? Because Bobby Firmino of late been stealing the headlines with that double. McCubs, I've got him down as first goal scorer.
Yeah.
You not so much.
I think, I haven't, but he will be hugely important. I mean, he was maybe the defining player of that epic Champions League tie, wasn't he? Back in the quarterfinals last season, and up against Laporte again. I just think, I think he will probably get the goal for Liverpool today if they score.
Who's just going to get the golden boot, boys? Starting with you, Will. Is it going to be Kane? Is it going to be Aguero? Or is Salah in with a shout at the double?
You know what? I think it might be Aubameyang, just because Arsenal have this patchy run of form, but when they've beat lower teams, they seem to thump them. You know, when Harry Kane won the golden boot, it was because of Panama.
Do you know what I think might work in Salah's favour? I think they've only got 3 of the top 6 left to play after this, and 2 of those matches are at home. So their run-in is sort of favourable, isn't it? And if they win this, then you'd imagine they have to lose at least 3 games. Their remaining 17, of course, unbeaten in their opening 2021. So might not happen, James. But are you going to go, what, Kane, Aubameyang,
I mean, you
Salah?
can never rule out Kane. I'd like him to win it. I think Aubameyang, it'd be nice for him to win. It'd be nice for an Arsenal player to get kind of some reward for.
All right, chill out.
But I mean, yeah.
Oh, go on.
Aubameyang, I'd like to actually win it.
Someone just said
like
Fernando
Aubameyang for
Llorente
it?
for Golden Boot winner in the comments.
Fernando Llorente, of course.
Strong back half of the
Yeah.
season for Fernando.
We were talking about him on Transfer Review today, weren't we? Been linked with Real Madrid as a auxiliary not auxiliary number 9, but just an alternative number
Who's
9.
his agent?
Mariano Diaz is injured. I know. Sign him up, guys. Who do you think is going to be the top goal scorer this season? Let us know in the comments below. The players are walking out of the stadium now. This game has been billed as a title decider. Do you buy into that hyperbole, Patrick? Do you think would a draw be, half a nail in the coffin for Manchester City?
Yeah, anything other than a City win, it makes it extremely likely that Liverpool win the league. And even if City win, Liverpool still have a substantial advantage. I mean, it's a title decider if City lose, or basically is the way to look at it. But if they don't, then obviously the race continues. I mean, it's exciting for Liverpool, but it'd be interesting to see how they respond to the pressure. People will love mentality and all that kind of stuff. Be very interesting to see what they actually do in this situation, because being a front runner is kind of different to chasing, I think.
On your way here, you're saying how you're getting a bit irked by people kind of saying Liverpool winning the league is a foregone conclusion. There's been a lot of, pro-Liverpool sentiments in the media of late. Did you think, do you necessarily agree with this?
I don't mind people having a pro-Liverpool sentiment, and I think it's unsurprising given how many ex-Liverpool players there are among kind of general punditry. But I think whenever anything happens, people write stories afterwards as if that thing was inevitable. So, with historical events and with football, people talk about it as if it was inevitable that Liverpool would be top of the league by this many points at this stage of the season. And Mahrez could have scored that penalty, at Anfield early on, and there would have been no unbeaten, run. I just think that in football, Ralf Honigstein actually tweeted something about this earlier today. He said, maybe if a team loses tonight, it won't be because they're bottlers. It'll be because strange things happen in football, and football's often decided by weird quirks or moments of genius.
Yeah.
And that, I think, is what I broadly am in favour of, us talking about football in terms of magical things that happen as opposed to grand overarching narratives which don't actually map onto what happened.
Massively applied to Spurs, for example, as well, who are second at the moment, but I firmly believe they won't be part of this title race come the end of the season. McCubbs, how annoying has it been as a Manchester United fan to watch your two biggest rivals create this massive gap between... I say massive gap, obviously Spurs are doing their best to separate it, to disrupt them at the moment, but how annoying has it been to watch the progress of your two biggest rivals in the last 2 or 3 years?
Obviously it's been pretty
rattled.
It's been pretty painful. And the last time there was a title race between these two sides, obviously we were watching Moyes kind of dismantle a title-winning side in the process as well. Slight deja vu, although obviously King Ollie is in now, so it's all good.
Equalled Busby's record of 4-4. Heard a lot about that.
Exactly,
what do you make of the start?
I think it's been really good. We shouldn't stay on Man United too long, to be honest. But I think it's been good. We've had easy games. We've won them in style. So I think Rashford's had the same amount of shots in the last 4 games as he had in the entire season previous. He's on fire. Pogba's on fire. Matic seems to be playing all right. Herrera, everyone just seems to be playing well, and I think it's inevitable that we're going to drop off again because you can't solve, you can't expect Solskjaer to solve the kind of problems that Mourinho's put in place there. But clearly there is a sense of relief in the side, and that's nice. So,
it's a good start getting Matic playing again because that looked, far and beyond any manager. Right, we're just about to kick off, gentlemen. There's Virgil van Dijk shaking hands with Vinny Company. Will Brazil, any burning questions before kick-off?
One on Virgil van Dijk. I think it's obvious on the form for this season, but I'd be interested to get your thoughts, long haul. Who is a more important player, Vincent Kompany for Man City or Virgil van Dijk for Liverpool? Could Virgil
in their prime or now?
I'm thinking, could Virgil have that sort of Vincent Kompany run where he becomes get a statue outside the ground or something like that?
Oh, OK, so sort of
an elder statesman.
Of early Vinny Company about Van Dijk.
To be fair, City did used to fall apart without Kompany, didn't they? There was a period where you needed him in the side, and I feel like I don't know. I still think Kompany in his prime was more influential for City than Van Dijk has been for Liverpool in the last year, personally. But I don't know.
Well, they haven't won anything yet, so obviously it's kind of contingent on that. But also, I kind of feel like maybe the fee makes that impossible. Like, I think there's something about when they pay £75 million for a player, you expect him to be very, very good. Whereas with Kompany, it was like, there's this guy they plucked pretty much out of nowhere. What, you got him off Hamburg?
Yeah. Mark Hughes signing.
Was
We
it
bought,
Anderlecht?
we bought him as a
and then he turned
centre defensive mid. We bought him as.
Yeah, and then he turned into one of the best centre-backs in the world. And I think somehow the fans tend to feel a greater connection to players like that than the ones where they're like, yeah, we spent an astronomical fee on this guy and he was exactly as good as we hoped he would be, you know?
Certain similarities, I guess, between their playing styles and that they make up for the deficiencies of other players. So I remember Dean McKayle's looking like an extremely good player when he was next to Vincent Kompany and catastrophic without him. And sort of shades of Otamendi there, but I mean, I suppose they have to fly out the lines. They're the more aggressive defender in those partnerships. But yeah, kind of similarities between him and Lovren. Lovren looks like a much better player, doesn't he? A much calmer persona when he's lining up next to Van Dijk.
Yeah, and Gomez too.
I imagine, I mean, at the moment it's Kompany, but time will tell with Van Dijk because they conceded 3 goals and scored 21 in their last, I want to say 10 Premier League games. It's been crazy, man. 9, I think it's 9.
They've been in a hot run though. I saw a chart.
I've been a bit fortunate according to the underlying numbers.
I saw a chart that showed
after this coffee, maybe.
That showed like the expected goals conceded per game for Liverpool since Van Dijk signed, and it's been pretty steady. It's been exactly the same as it was before, which is about
overblown.
About 0.8 expected goals a game, but actual goals have gone from 1 to about 0.5. So partially that's that before the defence was underperforming, and now it's slightly overperforming. But the defence is still very, very good. I do think he's had an effect, but on the other hand, perhaps we're maybe attributing a little bit too much to one guy, as opposed to them just going on a hot streak. And Alisson this season, I think, could even arguably be a bigger factor.
Yeah, I think Alisson's been a bigger.
Alisson has been great.
I think, just having someone so assured at the back, just knowing that he has made a couple of errors, but by and large, he doesn't look like he's going to make errors, does he?
No. He's already made
that obviously adds such confidence to the defence.
I think I've read somewhere that he's already made the same amount of errors leading to goals as Karius and Mignolet from last season.
Yeah, I think he has.
But I suppose it's what his pros bring to the game sort of outweigh those individual errors. And talking of errors, Liverpool have just been robbed on the edge of the box. Aguero pinging it over to Danilo on the overlap, but he didn't get there.
You say that's not great. No.
Will, over to you for a few fan questions, mate. Please get them in. Mr. Brazil will endeavour to get as many answered as possible.
Yeah, out Football Daily, out Football Daily, at
Soccer AM.
Oh my God, I'm losing my head. Hashtag Football Social, at Soccer AM, get them in. CG14 says, will Klopp's bad January record impact Liverpool's season? Ooh.
Bad January record? Does he? I mean, they've won a record amount of games in December, haven't they? I think they won 7 games in December, so they're in pretty...
Oh my goodness.
Good stead in January, but I'm unsure about this January curse. Anyone know anything about it?
I remember a couple of seasons ago, they were shocking. I think they lost something like 7 of 8 games or something like that in the league, and I think they went out the FA Cup and the League Cup in the same month as well, and I think might have struggled in the Champions League. I'm not quite sure, but I do kind of vividly remember that. And I think that was it. It was when Mane went to the African Cup of Nations as well.
Oh yeah,
and that just completely just ended their season basically.
They have. I feel like they've got the personnel to deal with those kind of individual problems now. Pato, do you think that this depth means that they're better equipped to execute Klopp's system from the start of the season to the end of the season than ever before? Because he is a very demanding coach, isn't he?
Well, he's changed style. Like actually, over the last this season, they've pressed less than they ever have. So in their first season, I think they broke up something like 52% of opposition possessions within 5 passes. So they're breaking them up really quickly, and that went up to 54% the following season. And now it's gone, and they led the league for the first couple of years he was there. Now they've dropped down to about 48%, and they're not in the top 3 anymore. They're much more conservative with their press than they were. And Klopp himself said, we've changed the style of our play a little bit, because it's a longer season and we need to be able to maintain our quality.
Okay, so he's factored that in as well as adding...
Yeah, so they're a little bit more kind of judicious in when they apply the press now, and I think hopefully that will mean that they're able to maintain their level a little bit longer and be a bit stronger in the back half. But they've got an advantage because of how good they were in December. I think in December, I might be wrong here, but I think possibly Liverpool and Man United were the only teams in the league not to lose a game over the Christmas break.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, Liverpool just won 7.
Yeah, it was amazing.
I've had it from a carrier pigeon gentleman that Jurgen Klopp has in fact only won 8 of 24 Liverpool games in January.
Yikes.
So he
That's
will
such a
be,
nice narrative, isn't it?
He will be looking to escape from January, still in good stead. James, you've been watching the first 5 minutes of this game pretty nervously, getting a lot of nervous energy off you, mate. Your tash is making me nervous.
Yeah,
mate.
I know, it's a beautiful tash.
Makes a lot of people.
How has this unfurled?
To be fair, it's a really rough game. A lot of players losing the ball. I think Jimmy Milner's already kicked out to touch. David Silva's, misplaced a few passes. It seems very rough. Fernandinho's, I mean, if he doesn't get sent off for the way he's carrying on,
Is he trying to get booked? If he
I
gets
think
booked, it will be such a problem for City, right?
Yeah, I think he's already needs somebody in the back. Robertson's down currently, so I mean, it's exciting at the moment, but I can feel that there's going to be some problems if we carry on the way it is.
How's that price boost for you? Is Raheem Sterling threatened yet? Ooh. So Sterling to score the first goal, 8-1 odds, accurate at the time of recording, and are subject to change. Obviously, terms and conditions apply as well, guys. But Sterling, I mean, he's been in effervescent form. Patrick, you're a big fan of him. In fact, you included him in Football Daily's team of the season at the expense of Cristiano Ronaldo, much to the dismay of our fans. Yeah. So you stand by it, don't you, mate?
Yeah, and I think Raheem Sterling's a force for good in the world. I'm a big fan of Raheem Sterling. I think he's been absolutely sensational for the last year. I think this season, during periods when City were perhaps lacking a bit of inspiration, he's been the guy to bring it, which is not something that previously people would have said about him. You know, he was the guy who would play well when everyone was playing well, as opposed to the guy who would run things for you. I think that he's obviously an incredibly talented player, but I also think that people are starting to appreciate him as more than that. You know, I think
it's becoming a bit of a symbol, isn't he?
Yeah, and to be honest, it's been needed. I mean, we've been talking about this for years, but I like that Raheem Sterling is calling people out for the way that they talk about players, particularly black players. Oh my God, black players. So I'm glad that Raheem Sterling, I think he actually means more than like the average footballer does, and that I think doing that while being an outstanding footballer.
It can't be undersold how he still shields so much responsibility, despite the fierce criticism, the unfair criticism that he faces time and time again. He'll always look for the ball, won't he? Shoulders the responsibility. Judges himself, extremely harshly for missing a chance. Doesn't give himself, a second to breathe. Like the professionalism and the drive of the guy is exceptional. And maybe we have a cheeky flutter at 8-1.
I'm trying to.
He's trying to. He gave me a little nod. Have we got any more questions to keep sticking over until while James's heart ticks over?
One from Fury X. Will Arsenal finally get to see Champions League football again from next season?
Oh, Patter, you better take this, lad.
Finally, it's only been 2 seasons, and no, probably not. I'd be surprised. I think that I think we'll probably finish 5th. I still think we'll probably finish above Man United, but Chelsea are better than us, Spurs are better than us, and have points advantages on us. So unless things really come together, or we make a very, very good signing in January, oh my good God.
Great defending. Off the back, straight into Edison's hands.
Stressful.
But so, I mean, as someone whose club is probably going to miss out on Champions League football again, how frustrating is that impending doom, missing out? I saw a title, a headline about Ashley Young going off to Inter Milan earlier today, and the headline was the subheading was, at least they can guarantee him Champions League football. And I thought, that's a bit of an unnecessary dig, isn't it?
It is a little bit, and I don't see why Inter Milan would want Ashley Young.
I know,
but that was our take.
Odd one. But no, I think, to be honest...
Missing out on it deservedly so?
Yeah, I think when you deserve to miss out on it, you can't be too upset. And also... It's like with Arsenal, kind of under the last years of Wenger. Like I almost don't see the point in. There's not as much of excitement as at being in the Champions League when you're almost certain that you're not going to get past the second round. Like I'm still not. We've got PSG in February, and don't really fancy our chances.
I mean,
it'll be nice.
Your chances against, was it Sevilla or Benfica in the round of 16 before, saying that you didn't have the players with the pedigree?
Year, which was awful. And yeah, I mean that was truly atrocious, that performance last year. But yeah, so yeah, no, I'm not too miffed, to be honest. Like, I think it can be good to, like, as we've seen with like Liverpool and Chelsea in the last few years, like having a season out of Europe can be so beneficial to your Premier League campaign.
It's going to become more frequent among the top clubs, isn't it? It has to be. Like, how do you continue to get 6 into 4?
There's always going to be 2 that miss out, aren't there?
Yeah, and this kind of regeneration is an interesting pattern you picked up on there. Just it seems to be taking place with the top clubs every 3 to 4 years now, as opposed to Arsene Wenger's exceptional continuity or Ferguson's. So yes, I mean, I expect that most clubs will go through this in the top 6 in the next 3 or 4 years. Yeah. Will, what's your take on the game so far over there in the corner, just beavering away on socials, aren't you? I want to know your professional opinion on the game.
Yeah, one of the comments was very Sunday League so far, which I thought was a very physical affair so far. But at that Leicester game, Fabian Delph playing left back, it was. I mean, I thought I could have done a better job that day on him. He was getting caught out left, right, and centre. And then I don't know how well Zinchenko did the other day, but I think it's very damning that Laporte's playing left back, considering how well he's been doing as a centre back all season. Trying to judge those runs.
Yeah, that might be an area that Liverpool want to target, especially those pacey wide men. Right, let's get some more questions in then as Danilo blows his nose.
One from Scott Morrison, one we were talking about before the stream. What do the lads think of a potential move of Defoe going to Rangers Football Club?
Oh, hello,
Chris Hamill. Up north we go.
Listen, there's a lot of journeymen with sort of decent names, let's say, that have come and gone through the old firm that haven't really made much of an impact. I'm not as overawed by this as some. It's a decent pickup for Rangers, and no doubt the feel-good factor is an all-time high for the last 6 or 7 years right now, having just beat Celtic and now signing a decent name in Jermaine Defoe. But Morelos, while I don't think he's a very good footballer, he's quite a good goal scorer. He's got 20-odd goals this campaign. And the different thing for me in the Celtic Rangers game was the way that Rangers pressed quite efficiently as a collective unit, had very good shape, were more disciplined than they have been in times gone by, where they've kind of given in to being frustrated at being inferior to Celtic ability-wise, and Celtic have been able to punish them for that. So I'm not sure. A little bit like when he joined Bournemouth, I'm not entirely sure they need him. No. They might be overpaying in terms of wages. It might hamper the development of a slightly younger player. Yeah. And younger players like young Kent, who came from Liverpool, it was exceptional in the old firm. But they've struggled against sides in and around the top 4 or 5 too. So we've still got a game in hand. I think Celtic will still win the league quite comfortably.
Do you think it's more of a market, like more of a PR? You know, when you sign someone on Football Manager and shirt prices go up 15% because you made a marquee signing, is it like that? Like, we bought them in for the PR.
Sold some shirts.
We're back a complete myth. Yeah, we're back in Gerrard. Do you think it's more of that sort of move?
Well, I kind of still think that's what Gerrard, is. Yeah. He's picking up the confidence of a club who were on the floor really when he came in, and maybe in a way that's what they need for the time being, but that never equates to good long-term planning, does it? Just having a name in there, or an ex-hero, or like a Sherwood at Spurs. Okay, if Gerrard can come in, get a second place finish and bring on a couple of youngsters, he's maybe done enough of a job. But we'll see. I'd love Gerrard to become like tactically astute, to be at the fore of English management when it comes to young up and comers. But I have my doubts at the moment. But in terms of a man motivator, I think he's doing a superb job. But not too bothered about Jermaine Defoe. I'd quite we're apparently, going to loan Jack Hendry out to Barnet. That's what everyone's talking about in Scottish football.
Right, so, in the stream as well, they're all talking about that.
I can imagine.
Can't move Jack Hendry.
Does anyone else want to chip in with the old firm? We should just move on. Love that, Will.
Old firm special.
Yeah. Do you think the Jermaine Defoe move is good for all parties, to be fair?
Yeah.
He gets to play football again and gets off the books at Bournemouth, and Rangers get a player that might sell shirts.
Finally gets to go to. Oh no, he has been to a foreign league before, hasn't he? He was at Toronto, wasn't he? I was going to say, he finally gets to go to a foreign league.
Only goes to foreign leagues where they speak English.
I mean, Bournemouth were paying him 120k a week, weren't they? So I'm not sure how much Rangers will be.
What are you talking about? That was a great move.
Paying of that. But anyway, back to the game in hand. There's not really been a lot of chances. It has been a little bit attritional. We've seen some head tennis, which we don't associate with Pep Guardiola sides at the moment. A few wasteful, long, hopeful balls from Liverpool too. But Raheem Sterling has finally brought the ball under control and has just gassed someone in midfield. Is that Jordan Henderson?
Yeah, Jordan Henderson.
Who blocked him off for the secondary run. Will, any questions about the game, about Liverpool, about Manchester City?
I'll be honest, not many.
Have I thrown you under the bus there? Well, what are you playing at? Get the questions in right now, guys.
Yeah, get them in at Football Daily, at Soccer AM, using the hashtag #TheFootballSocial. A lot of questions around Chelsea and this potential move for Christian Pulisic.
I mean, that's easily been the most interesting thing that's happened recently. Like, starting with McCubbin, how do you rate this Pulisic transfer? £58 million to Chelsea, of course, joining in the summer.
I think it's good. I think it's a good move. Obviously, Pulisic hasn't been quite as central to kind of Dortmund's success as maybe some people would have hoped he would have been maybe a couple of years ago. But he's still an exceptional talent. I think people are saying that Chelsea have overpaid for him, but like I don't think they have. Like I think the potential's there for him to be one of the world's best wingers. And if that's the case, then in 2-3 years' time, then 60 million will be a snap on it.
Feels like a fair price.
And it is where they need to strengthen as well. Obviously, Willian and Pedro, obviously, very good players, but Willian performances have dropped off a lot this season. Pedro is not getting any younger, so that was one area where they genuinely needed to strengthen. I think they've been very decisive in that, because obviously Liverpool were thinking about it, weren't they? Last year,
I mean, they were favourites sort of the last couple of weeks, weren't they, coming into this? But Van Straat, is this a good transfer if it comes at the sacrifice of losing someone like Hudson-Odoi?
I don't know how good Hudson-Odoi is. So from that point of view, I mean, it's very hard to say. I would probably give him some minutes, and the fact that Sarri's saying he could be one of the best wingers in Europe but isn't playing him, those seem to be kind of contradictory ideas to me. I think they have overpaid a little bit, but not because of his quality, just because of the contract situation. He'd have a year left on his contract at the end of the season, and they're not getting him for this push for Champions League places. But I think it's quite interesting because in the last couple of years, it feels like Chelsea have faced a slight loss of power in the transfer market. You know, like the idea of players. When Eden Hazard went to Chelsea, they just won the Champions League, and you could understand why players wanted to go there. But it feels a little bit like a few other clubs are now more attractive destinations. So from that point of view, I think it was quite impressive that they were able to nail a deal for such a coveted player, and show that they could compete for these guys again.
I've seen pictures, videos of Pulisic. He's been obsessed with the Premier League since he was a very young boy, owing to his American heritage and his football playing
Played for
parents.
Brackley Town as well.
And photos of him in a Manchester United shirt. So I think he was never going to sign a contract extension. He was Premier League bound, I think, for the last 6 months. I think Chelsea inquired about him at the start of the season as well. So I guess from that point of view, it was as we expect. But this game hasn't been as we expect. No shots in 18 minutes. A lot of play in the centre of the park. Liverpool starting to put together some decent passing sequences now. Jimbo, how's it been unfolding?
Pretty much the same as the first.
Oh,
There we go.
The post!
Oh, my God.
Oh, no!
Oh, my God.
That would have been the worst goal to concede in the circumstances.
I don't know what's happening anymore.
Referee's only giving it the old. It's not gone in. It's gone.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
Referee had
I'd
it
stop
on
watching.
the watch.
I'd stop watching when it hit the post.
Jimbo,
Whoever stopped that
I've ripped my
going
ear.
in.
Oh, God. I've ripped my earpiece out, Jim.
Danilo.
Take us through that last attack.
It's still as scrappy as it started
my
with. I'd be
good God.
extremely surprised if David Silva and Fernandinho don't finish the game with at least a yellow card each. I mean, there's been poor tackles everywhere, balls bouncing everywhere. It's not vintage Liverpool, not vintage City, but it's entertaining. So
Mane's just hit the post. So what happened? Who hit that against Ederson and it nearly bounced in?
oh, no, I was looking into
You'll
the
be
skies,
seeing-
to be fair.
You'll be seeing gifs of that in about 30 seconds if you're on Twitter as well. That was almost the worst way to break the deadlock in a game of this magnitude. Will, what are people saying in the comments?
While it's still nil, it'd be great to get everyone's thoughts on who do we think the standout player will be in this game from either side.
I mean, Liverpool are starting to grow into it, aren't they, guys? What do you think, McCubbs and Pie? Standout players?
Go on,
There's a lot of decisive players.
I'm just going to be blatantly obvious and just say Salah and Sterling. I feel like they've been the two
turn
most...
from Salah there
yeah,
was outrageous,
great.
wasn't it?
Fine Adam spreading it out there. They might have something to say about this game as well, those three in midfield, because they were brilliant against PSG, weren't they? That combination. And run themselves into the ground time and time again. Right, I think we're seeing a replay of the chance. So Salah picks it up in the middle of midfield.
It's a great ball
one,
through.
too.
It's a great ball
With
through.
Firmino, plays it
Lovely
through.
one.
He should. We're so fortunate there.
Oh, my God.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Oh, it's close. It's
That's
close.
just the angle.
Right, I might be being a bit cruel on Mane here, but I feel... Oh,
I love
my
that,
God.
though. I do love that.
The angle.
Kicks
here.
it
That's how much they want to play
John
football from the back.
Stones straight against Ederson's bonds, but then
That's
saves
so
it.
close.
That's
The last
unbelievable.
gasp dive. If that's Salah or Firmino, is that 1-0?
Not Salah on his right foot, probably not. and Salah does everything to create the chance in the first place. What I don't know. Do you not think Mane's a good finisher?
I think in that situation, one-on-one, he is the inferior of the three.
Yeah, that's possibly true. I mean, I really don't know. Though it's weird.
That's hypercritical in that situation that he's hit the post. But
that could be a card for Lovren.
Definitely got to be a card.
So as recently as last season, we were saying that Salah was a bad people were saying that Salah was a bad finisher. And historically, he hasn't been like an above-average finisher, except for last season, really. I don't know. I mean,
that's a bad challenge. That is a very bad challenge.
But in a way, that showcased the good about everybody there. Like Salah, great turn in midfield, his creativity. Firmino, perfect touch to lay it off, and then Mane making the third man run.
Yes, I just thought before he received that, if that was Bobby Firmino on the end of it, it might have been a goal. But you're right, it was
probably
great interplay by the forward three. I'm probably being a bit harsh there. And talking of harsh, Lovren is just absolutely Paolo one-chop Sergio Aguero, who has a 100% scoring record against Liverpool. I think we've spoke about this before. McCubbin at the Etihad and a 0% at Anfield. So
crazy.
He'll probably be, going back to your question, Will, an influential figure in this game. What do we think about David Silva's new hairline as well? What a recovery that's been.
I want it all off again.
You want it bold again?
Prison Silva was my favourite Silva.
Oh my God. Sergio Aguero.
What's happening?
Little touchdown. Doogie in the gallery, can we get a poll out, please, on our Twitter? David Silva, bald or new hair? Because that's what the people want.
Just for everyone at home, Chris is saying bald. when he says bold.
Wow. That looks like it's over.
Is my translator?
Oh my goodness.
That's what it's there for.
Wow. That is nuts.
No, David Silva's going through that stage where we all go through, where you want a new haircut, you want a new style, but you've got to grow it out.
Yeah.
You've got to wait your turn.
When I first got to London, wanted a new hairstyle. I mean, I've had a couple of shockers, haven't I, boys?
The blunt fringe.
Had the Mandot down there, you know. I look like Sue Perkins after one haircut. Who's a very handsome woman. No offence to Sue Perkins, but that's all I got in the comments for the last, 6 months after that. But fair play for trying something new, David. I respect his bravery.
What do you think he's growing towards?
Just the mop again.
Mullet.
I like
mullet. That'd be great.
Yeah? Perfect.
Yeah.
That'd be fantastic.
I'm well up for that.
Style.
I feel like he wants to revisit the mop.
He did love that mop haircut.
Right.
He currently just looks like the annoying kid from your year 7 class with that haircut.
Who just gets a 3 all over because he can't sit in a chair long enough to get a decent haircut. He's got ADHD. Right, let's have his ADHD cut. Let's have a few more questions from Social Corner.
Do we think Liverpool have got the best set of fullbacks in the world? That is from Connor Prinz. Thank you for your question, Connor.
Punchy. I mean, Alexander-Arnold is definitely one of the best young fullbacks, isn't he?
I think he's going as a set, when you back to like Tottenham used to have Walker and Ben Davis. Yeah. Alexander-Arnold and Robertson together. Is that the most premium set?
Van Straten, you said no straight away there. Who are you thinking of?
Marcelo and Carvajal.
Yeah.
They're better. Both of them are better. And don't get me wrong, I love City's fullbacks, but Marcelo and Carvajal, both of them individually are better. And actually, I think at their best, I think Kimmich and Alaba, that's a really good pairing as well. Alexandro and João Cancelo, really good too.
João Cancelo is absolutely magnificent.
I mean, there are some fantastic fullback pairings around.
Yeah, that's very true. We were talking about. I mean, it's quite a well-trodden subject how important the modern fullback is to these various teams. But we're seeing, especially in the Premier League, sort of particularly Arsenal as well. And you've noted that Arsenal are much better with a back three.
Yeah.
Players that are exceptional fullbacks. And maybe not the best traditional defenders. Mm-hmm. Now, do you think that the pros outweigh the cons? Particularly with Arsenal, in this new system. I mean, you've gone on record to say you think you're better as a back three. But what is it about sort of Kolasinac, about Lichtsteiner, Bellerin that makes them better in a back five than a back four?
Well, Lichtsteiner spent most of his career as a right wing back, but he's been horrific wherever he's played. But I think Bellerin is a really good dribbler and a really good creator. I think defensively he'll improve. But Kolasinac as well, the season before he came to us, had huge attacking output. And this season, nobody's got more expected assists per 90 in the Premier League than Kolasinac.
That is absolutely... Mental stats gong, please.
It's crazy. I think he's something like 5th in the league for expected assists overall, which is crazy given that he didn't really play until...
Van Dijk there again, classic.
Oh,
Lovely
yes, Fernandinho. He's so good.
I love him.
Who's been... I mean, you guys mostly support top clubs, so this question is for you, Will, all right?
Yeah. I think you're still coming to me.
Who's come for your club that as soon as you saw him, you said, this guy's going to the very top,
Jack
I can't
Butland.
believe... Who, sorry?
Jack Butland.
Oh,
Jack
you're so
Butland.
wrong.
No, he's still got a chance. Ballon d'Or winner in 10 years' time. Damari Gray?
Okay.
Nathan Red. I mean, this is how slim pickings
I
it
like
is.
Nathan Redmond.
I like
Nathan Redmond's great, I think.
He scored when we had our UEFA Cup run in 2011. 17-year-old, low-driven shot, 25 yards out. I went, this kid's got it.
What about your loan period? Jesse Lingard.
Jesse Lingard, not too much though. You know why? Because he wasn't. And I think it was Alex Ferguson that said he was going to be like have to wait till he was 24, 25 because he was like not physically built at all, but he was still doing it in the Championship. I mean, it's
Mikel Forsell.
Yeah, but he'd already done it a little bit at Chelsea. We took him on. I mean, Christoph Dugar, he's the best player we ever had. Pleb.
I had a shiny Christoph Dugar shootout card.
Yeah. We had
Talking
Carl
of shootouts,
Jenkinson.
have we had a shot yet, James?
We've had a few. Yeah. Not many.
Apart from the one that hit the post?
I mean,
from Manchester City.
I don't think City have actually had a shot yet, which is extremely worrying.
But you've got in some dangerous positions.
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, I think if anything, we're going to target Lovren's yellow card and hope for the best with that. I mean, he can't be putting any challenges like that again. So if we target him, that's hopefully where our first shot may come from.
Totally right. Seeing Jurgen Klopp seeing Dejan Lovren booked in the opening 20 minutes must have been nightmarish material.
They don't have any centre-backs on the bench, do they?
No, I think the club noted that before, that they only have Moreno on the bench.
I'm sure Pep will be thinking, like, maybe if we move Sane into the space between Alexander-Arnold and Lovren, that might be something to be exploited. Cause were you a little bit surprised to see Sane? Because in the past, I mean, everyone goes on about it a little bit too much, but he has been, like, pocketed by Trent Alexander-Arnold on more than one occasion.
I think Pep's one of these managers that doesn't like... If you've made a mistake, he'll give you the opportunity to make up for it.
Yeah.
You saw it with how happy he was with Zinchenko when he gave the ball away in Southampton, how happy he was when he got the assist for the third goal, I believe. So I'm not surprised that Sane's in the team. You want to play your strongest 11 against your biggest opposition. I think it's just an opportunity for Sane now to prove that that was just a one-off, just a blip, and that he is better than Alexander-Arnold's defensive abilities, which, I mean... It's a tough thing to come against Alexander-Arnold as it is. He's an extremely talented player, but it's just an interesting battle that hopefully Sane gets the better of this time.
Yeah. Wow.
Gentlemen, City have had to wait their longest stretch without a shot on goal since when? What year?
I'm going to say 2008, 8-1 against Middlesbrough.
It's actually 8-1. It's actually much more underwhelming than that. It's only 2016, but 2 years. Liverpool keeping them at bay, but also not conceding much on the defensive end either, are they? Apart from that shot that hit the post from Mane. City only conceding around 1.6 shots on target per game.
Perfect for a watch-along, I always find as well, isn't it, when there's just no action?
Yeah, absolutely mesmerising stuff. So let's get some quick-fire fan questions then. If the shots aren't going to be rattled off, let's at least rattle off the questions.
One about how we think Naby Keita's done in his first season in the Premier League. How would you rate it so far?
You were really invested in him, weren't you, Pato, when he came from RB Leipzig?
I think he's an amazing player. I think he's one of the most exciting signings in the Premier League for a long time. But Michael Cayley was talking about this on Twitter the other day. Oh, God.
Here we go. Raheem Sterling threatening in the box. We'll come back to you, Pato. Hello?
First shot on
What
first shot.
Doing?
Oh, why didn't he take that first time?
That was...
Sometimes a little bit reluctant to shoot first time, isn't he, David Silva? He wants to find the extra pass.
Got a shot now, there.
He likes to make life hard for himself.
Got a shot now.
Positives. Such a good pass.
I just remember to put 3-3 on, sir.
You've cursed it. Again, Will. You and your frivolous
I don't think
bets.
Laporte's been in the box yet.
Oh,
Laporte's been in the box.
It's a weird touch and a little bit of a toe poke.
Van Dijk, decent block there, but a little bit stationary when Silva
not very good from
receives it.
Silva. Not very good from Silva.
Jinky. Anyway, he'd have scored that if he was bold.
He definitely would have.
Bold.
How do you say tongue?
Tongue.
How do you say grass?
Grass.
Yeah, well, that's the difference, isn't it? So let's end that segment.
This is great.
Let's get some more fan questions.
No, hang on. No, let me finish talking about Naby Keita.
Oh, sorry, mate, sorry.
Yeah, so Naby Keita last season in the Bundesliga was managing about 3 dribbles a game and was clearly one of the better dribblers in the league. And this season so far for Liverpool, I think he's managing 0.2 dribbles forward per game. So that tells you that you're not seeing the best of Naby Keita. So I think once he gets some fitness, you will start to see him blossom. But fortunately, he's very young, and this has happened before. Trent Alexander-Arnold and Robertson only got into the team in kind of January time 2017, and now people are sending us questions about whether they're the best fullback pairing in the world.
Yeah.
So I think there's plenty of time for Naby Keita to bed in. And lest we forget, actually, Fabinho in his first couple of games, people were saying, "Oh, this is a shocking
Terrible, isn't
signing."
it?
Wow.
So I think a little bit of fitness
Well
will do
done,
Keita the world of good.
Oxlade-Chamberlain even more so as well. It took him about 3 months to get to the point where people were saying he was an integral part of the side. And he is actually back in training today, which is really good to hear after that long layoff. He had a horrific injury, didn't he? Do you think a player of his energy, of his drive, would make a big difference in a game like this?
Yeah, definitely.
Well, he did in the Champions
100%.
League last season,
He
didn't
scored
he?
such a good goal against us as well. No, he's a great player, and I'm quite happy to not see him. And
Where's
it's good,
the line
it's
gonna
good
go?
that he's fit again.
And
I'm
they
glad
tried
for him,
to
but
sign
I'm
As a
glad
City
someone,
fan,
right?
good not
Yeah.
to see him in the lineup.
They tried to sign someone in that position. You know, they were going for Fekir, and it looked like they were going to try and play Fekir as an attacking midfielder. So they obviously thought that losing Oxlade-Chamberlain was going to be a really big problem.
Yeah.
And it just so happens that Shaqiri has come in and done a lot of the work I think they expected to get from somebody in that position.
I really like Shaqiri as sort of that. I mean, we spoke about this before, haven't we? How Fekir would have played as like an advanced midfielder in that three. So.
Oh my God.
That's a terrible pass.
Oh, recovery tackle, Vinny Company.
What's going on
That is
there?
not a foul.
Oh,
That's a
he's
blast from the pass there as he caught him, as he,
He
gone,
might go
as he
if
went
this
through
is
him.
bad.
He's already up.
It looked like he took it with his kind of thigh. more than
Yeah.
with-
What, just missed him at first and caught him with a follow through?
Not a fan of that.
Or caught the ball with a follow through?
He is massive.
Let's have a closer look at his tackle, then we'll go back to.
That's an awful pass from Stones.
Ooh, little bit
No,
of a
there's
lunge.
nothing dangerous
No.
though.
Tiny lunge in there.
But I don't think it's out of control here. Like, he's not going to go
It's
through
not
it.
dangerous.
It's the 2
It's
feet
just-
off the,
it's
there's
the
2 feet
initial,
off the ground.
isn't it?
I think that
Yeah.
looks worse than it is. Like, from the other angle, you see that his foot's not going towards Salah when it's off the ground, I think.
But we all want to give him the benefit of the doubt because he's a nice guy and a bloody good player.
Extremely nice guy.
Yeah.
Nabil Fekir. I've actually been really impressed with Shaqiri this season. I
Yeah,
think
he's been great.
he's been absolutely superb, and maybe I don't think they would have got any more output out of Oxlade-Chamberlain. I know they're different players, but
got a yellow for
Shaqiri's contributing fantastically on the attacking end, isn't he? And that was a yellow card for Company. So the referee obviously deemed that a little bit dangerous. Will.
I was just thinking about that Liverpool midfield. Is like Adam Lallana just still injured, or is he just?
He's on the
No,
bench.
he's-
He's on the
he's
bench.
He's on the bench.
Yeah.
Surely he's got to go in
Chopping
January,
changes
though,
there.
isn't he?
Isn't he? He's another one.
I'd get him back to
Can't
Southampton.
Can't pin down a lid. That's
No
what-
one's going to leave, though, with an opportunity to
Get
maybe
that medal.
Get a winner's medal.
It's
Yeah.
like when Richie Delac came and got his medal when Leicester won the league.
Oh, Schwarzer, back-to-back Premier League.
And Nathan Dyer
Yeah.
definitely deserved that.
Right, free kick here from Liverpool.
Horrible.
Easily cleared
Whoa,
by.
my
I think that was Bernardo Silva. I don't think I've ever said those words before in my life.
Bernardo Silva has had a fantastic first half an hour defensively. He's made some incredible challenges in the first half of this game.
Watching him against Chelsea, and he put in, I think he made something like, he must have made about 3 interceptions in about 5
Yeah.
minutes in that first half against Chelsea.
Good match
Three of them
intelligence, hasn't he?
sliding
Like, he
challenges
just
as well.
pick up those
Yeah.
positions where he can intercept play.
His defensive numbers have popped this season. Like they look excellent now, and actually his attacking numbers are still pretty decent. But defensively, it's surprising that that's where he's shone. Interesting.
Jimbo, what more can City do in this game to take the game to Liverpool? Because at the moment, seem a little bit under
Yeah,
pressure.
it's calmed down a little bit. I mean, Liverpool are pressing very well. I mean, our passing's erratic. John Stones misplaced that pass, which ultimately gave Company a yellow card. But I don't know.
Are you missing the possibility to pass from that central area without a left back?
I'm not too sure. I think Mendy being injured is obviously extremely detrimental to our.
Oh, you're in here, Sane.
Could have been better.
That was a lovely combination play there, wasn't it? From David Silva, from Aguero. Corner.
Laporte.
Laporte, hello. So Will's bet is 1,250 to 1 could be on here with an Aymeric Laporte header from this corner if he can get his 50p head to it.
That's what you learn playing at Celtic, that clearance there from Van Dijk.
Oh, that was prime SPFL, smashed into a pigeon on the rafters. Absolutely beautiful stuff there from Van Dijk. The corner's come in from Sane, who won it, and it's a good lead.
Whistle gone already.
Yeah.
Oh,
Bernardo Silva.
Feisty
fouling
little Bernardo
someone.
Silva.
Yeah, I know.
You can't do anything in the box on a corner. It's so annoying.
But at least that went past the first man, because how can a person that drinks 10 pints the night before, eats a massive curry, go out on the lash, Big Dave, who plays for the Sunday League team, make it past the first man, and most professional footballers can't, who are on 100 grand a week plus. It's my number one bugbear, as you can tell. I'm absolutely steaming.
Disgraceful.
I hate the short corner.
Well, I don't mind the short
I
corner.
don't like
the
that a
outside.
lot.
Yeah, I don't like that.
If they've acknowledged the other team physical and bigger, I don't mind a short corner or a bit of a routine.
I'm fine with hitting the first man.
What?
I think that the difference between a corner that's just whipped right over the head of the first man and is the most dangerous kind of corner to defend, and the difference between that and one that hits the first man is actually very, very small.
I mean, the chances of scoring from a corner are minimal, full stop.
There's something like 3%.
It's something that winds me
like
up.
3%.
Yeah. It's just something irrational.
I'd rather that than the big looping corner that the keeper can just come out and just take down.
That's the worst.
You know,
like
he's won the Try Wizard tournament. He just takes it down like this.
Excellent first Harry Potter reference.
Yeah, thank you. I knew you were going to get it.
What annoys you the most in football, guys? Let us know in the comments. Will, have we got a couple more questions?
Yeah, one from Jojo saying, is this the best Liverpool side of the Premier League era? Hashtag the football social.
I mean, what Liverpool sides are they competing with? The very defensively sound one of Rafa Benitez.
The Spice Boys.
B. Rog.
B. Rog.
Houllier.
Suarez, Sterling, Daniel Sturridge, Gerard Houlier's treble-winning side, of course. I mean, ability-wise, yes, probably. What an era. What a time to be alive when Hodgson bought Robbie Keane to Liverpool for 30 mil.
I think better than Suarez is.
Right, are we in agreement? This is maybe the best ability-wise? What do you think?
It's up there with... It's up there with... Rafa Benitez's one of 2008-9 when you had Torres and Gerrard on fire, Mascherano and Xabi Alonso. Like they still don't match that midfield.
Ridiculous team.
Like that was an amazing midfield. So yeah, they're up there with them. Obviously, in terms of results, yeah, it's the best they've ever had, isn't it?
I watched the Gerrard documentary recently, the Maker's Dream one, and actually these exceptional individuals were only really around Gerrard for like 2-3 years max, and in the interim he'd always dragged them to where they probably didn't deserve to be. So all these great players, it's been punctuated with with awful signings, but now they at least have some coherence, don't they, with like their targets. They seem to have built up the FSG, an idea of the football they want to play. Van Stroheim, have you been impressed by their recruitment the last couple of years? I think it's been pretty unrivaled for me, maybe apart from Juventus.
Yeah, well, 2017 got Salah, 2016 got was it Mane, and the year before was Firmino. And to hit on 3 big attacking transfers in a row like that is pretty exceptional. And it's very obvious that they are statistically led in their recruitment. They've also coupled that with some bargains, you know.
Yeah,
like
Shaqiri.
Well, Robertson as well. I mean, Robertson was what, 7 million?
Yeah.
And a lot of people, I mean, at the time I was kind of like, I don't really get what they've seen in this guy. But obviously Klopp was able to do something with him. And I think they've overpaid here and there as well, Wijnaldum, and people before
You're
that like
quite
Lovren.
a big fan of the sale of Coutinho. That's facilitated quite a few of these big moves. So do you think that is, letting one of their more exceptional players go has benefited them in the long run?
I think getting rid of this idea that if you sell a big player, you're a selling club and you're going to get worse is if you have faith in your recruitment, there's no reason that should necessarily be the case. And actually, the first half of last season, when they had this front three plus Coutinho, they looked a bit unbalanced. It wasn't quite working. Something about, I don't know, in January, it just enabled them to build out the rest of the squad. And overall, it shows that sometimes an exceptional player is not as important as having just better players all over the squad.
Well, talking of exceptional, how exceptional was that tackle from Fernandinho there in the corner?
And Vincent.
Was it Vinny Company?
Yeah.
And he's
V-Comes.
with the outside of his boot distributed it down the line, and now
Sane's allowed to run on.
I
think
Who's got the book?
Oh, Sane's fallen over and absolutely poleaxed.
Someone's got a
Is that
booking, I'm not too sure.
Wijnaldum? I think it might be. Oh, it's
Henderson might have got the card for that.
I wonder if
harsh
it's
it is.
Wijnaldum for the pool. Yeah, I
was
couldn't
it
figure
for
it out.
It must be Wijnaldum.
Wijnaldum for the pool has been booked, apparently.
Not the worst foul.
So still very attritional. Is this how we expected this game to start? I certainly wasn't.
It was a little bit like it was in October, though, wasn't it?
Yeah,
cagey.
Very cagey.
It's I don't know what you could attribute to the fact that their meetings have been so much less exciting this season as opposed to last season. Maybe because you can't just put it down to Liverpool's improved defence. I
think the fullbacks have been a bit more reserved, haven't they? We saw like in the October game, it just seemed like none of the fullbacks were going forward. They were all told to stay at home because people were worried about the wingers. Like the collection of wingers on the pitch right now is outrageous, really. So you can see that.
Would you take 16-1 on either team to score before the first half ends, gentlemen? 7 minutes. Look at that.
I think if one team scores, you could.
Bit of a price boost there. So if that tickles your pickle, get it in. Talking of pickles. Brazil.
I didn't even have to look up and I knew you were coming to. Is Klopp capable of doing what Pep Guardiola did last season? Hashtag the football social. I think in terms of that Centurions, getting to that 100-point mark.
Well, Dejan Lovren's been talking about an unbeaten season, hasn't he? Does that irk you a little bit? You know, thinking they can emulate City's achievements from last year?
It'd be frustrating, obviously, doing a Centurion season the first time and then be matched the next season. I mean, it doesn't get more frustrating than that. But, I mean, both records are extremely difficult to beat, so I don't think so, no.
So what was it? I think they got 106 or 7 goals and 100 points, wasn't it?
Something like that.
So at the minute, Liverpool are on track to beat that, but obviously a defeat here could change that massively.
This is it.
He's on a yellow.
No, what have you done?
Oh, hello!
Go on,
Here he goes.
What's you doing?
Rashford's picked it up in the
Rashford?
box. Not
Sterling.
Rashford. Sterling.
Wrong team,
Rashi.
Yeah, Rashi. That's what they call him. That's what Pep calls him.
Rashi, yeah.
Yeah.
You
come
threw me there
on,
for a
Sterling.
second.
Yeah,
Sterling just picked it up in a box,
Sergio.
ran out,
Get
and
up.
now City are recycling the play
it.
in and around
Go on.
the 12-yard area.
Oh,
Sergio Aguero.
100%. Love
7
it.
goals,
Love it.
7 games. His run continues.
Oh,
he is
okay,
the
calm
boy
down now.
at the Etihad, the go-to man for Manchester City. James Wayne,
Melted.
look at him. He's spent.
No, I did not expect that. That was a great finish. Absolutely lovely finish. Roof of the net, left-hand side. Alisson, no chance. Love that man. I don't care that he's got white hair. He's still beautiful to me.
Jimbo, take us through the replay when it comes on, because it looked like City had screwed it there when Sterling dribbled it outside the box, but recycled well.
Yeah, we've been doing a lot of this, kind of holding on to the ball too long, trying to get the perfect pass in. Sergio Aguero goes down like an absolute plum, gets back up, onside. Bernardo Silva keeping the play alive, lovely ball in.
Great touch.
Nips
Slow
ahead
from
of
Lovren.
nips
Slow
ahead
from
of him.
Lovren. Lovren doesn't notice him nipping in front.
But that is
Mustafi
such a good
defending
finish.
from
That's
Lovren.
such a good finish. Perfect.
Yikes.
Absolutely love the boy.
He loves that sort of net buster, doesn't he?
Yeah.
The near post. He's exceptional with his left foot as
look
well.
at him.
7 goals, 7 games, the magnificent 7, all the 7s. Oh God, that's taken.
I think
out of me. What a fantastic.
I think his record against Liverpool at the Etihad is the best record of its kind of the Premier League era. So no, I don't think any other player has got a 100% record at home against an opponent.
I thought you were going to
That's certainly
repeat
not
the
one of
stat
our
that you
qualities.
originally said, then I repeated it.
Basically, yes, we are just recycling it, but
Different
I just
variation.
remembered that.
I could have
it was
matched a tennis over here.
Yeah.
I'll get
the
another
only stat
iteration
that
back to you
anyone's,
soon.
yeah.
What do the fans think to that, Will, in the comments? Are they absolutely buzzing that Manchester City have blown the title race, back on, I guess?
Well, before the goal went in,
Semi
Chris, Jamie Bev, 1989, said, these lads look like they'd rather do a jigsaw than watch the football, so thank God for the goal.
Yeah.
Did get on the BTS, get onto it. Yeah, but a lot of people just happy there's some action in the game, finally.
Good. Bring it to life.
I can see Liverpool getting one before half-time
Yeah.
now.
And one
think
question...
It'd be
as well.
extremely City for that to happen.
Well, the thing is, like, these teams do have, so their plan A might have been to be a little bit more conservative, but, I mean, they have a plan B, don't they? It's not like when Manchester United go behind and you have to bring on Fellaini and pump the ball onto him. They just be like,
Great ball.
OK, let's be more expansive,
Stanley,
let's
you're
continue
better
to
than
play
that.
football, let's make this a real contest, and they can go toe-to-toe, can't they? So, hopefully, guys, massive second half. Get your score predictions for the second half in the comments below. Hit the subscribe button if you're not hit it already. On both Football Daily and Soccer AM, all one big happy family here. So, lads, 3 minutes left of half-time. How do we see Klopp changing Liverpool in the second half? If so at all. Starting with you, Van Straat.
Oh, I don't know. I think they'll kind of
Are they
have
tinkering?
They'll have to come out a little bit more. I think they'll probably stick to the same plan for a while, but maybe we'll see them press more aggressively in the second half. There have been times they've been letting it go early on. I don't know what you do about Lovren, though. That's just a problem. Oh, God, that's dangerous.
Well, Van
challenge.
Dijk does. He's just come over where Lovren is lined up and he's just cleared the ball. Sergio Aguero threatening there. Again, all of a sudden,
Fabinho in defence.
City
Yeah,
maybe
looking
you do.
alive.
We
Maybe
see
you do.
blood. See blood,
Yikes.
smell blood.
It's not a bad
Exactly,
shout
isn't
from
it?
you, McCubbin, over there. You think Fabinho might enter
Fabinho
the
in
fray soon?
defence, although obviously he's more used to being a right-back, isn't he, if he's in the back line.
Yeah,
But,
he
we
did
haven't
play
seen-
centre-back. I
Weird
think, a
that in
little bit.
Brazil they think of him solely as a right back.
Really?
Yeah,
Still?
I've seen Tite quote that before, but he's been exclusively like a CDM, hasn't it? I suppose he played right back for Monaco
He
sometimes.
did, yeah.
Occasionally, but I mean, there is a lot of competition at that position in Brazil. Not least Fernandinho's, who's been fantastic in this first half. He really has. I mean, you do see the difference in the way that he draws pressure and then can just move past
Yeah,
it.
bang,
It's
yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, his ability to just distribute quickly out the back, pretty unrivaled at times, isn't it? Jimmy Milner almost slipping Liverpool in there. Van Adam on it in the centre of the pitch. Second half, I just think it has to be more of the same from Klopp. They've been firmly in this game, haven't they? There's been moments City have looked uncharacteristically hairy at the back. Talking of hairy, Sergio Aguero's day.
You ever considered that?
There's a litany of hair on this.
He had frosted
hairstyles
tips,
on display.
didn't
he? Yeah.
Actually, I did. I had the
NSYNC.
when I was 16. When I was 16, I had the blonde frosty tips at the back, very Cristiano Ronaldo style. Fernandinho clearing again there. Okay, so 1 minute left until the 45 is over. Like I said, get your score predictions in the comments below. Let's have a couple of questions then before the ref draws the whistle.
Well, after the goal, Chris, everyone wants to know. Well, mainly Triple X says, do you think Manchester City will be able to end Liverpool's unbeaten streak as it stands at 1-0?
What, 20, 21 games?
Yep.
I mean, if any team was going to, it was going to be Manchester City, wasn't it? But this would narrow Liverpool's lead at the top of the Premiership to 4 points, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So do you think? I mean, 4 points. That puts them firmly in City's sight, doesn't it?
Still a lot, though.
You've always said that Pep Guardiola gears his teams up more so over the course of the season than any other manager. So if anyone could chase him down successfully, it would be the Spaniard, right?
Well, and it's hard to see how they can have worse luck. I mean, obviously it's possible that Silva and Fernandinho get injured again. We could definitely see that being the case because of their age. I think they're 32 and 33 respectively. But to have Silva missing, Fernandinho missing, and De Bruyne missing, plus Mendy out, for long stretches of the season, that is bad luck. Now, partially that's a fault of squad building. They should have found somebody to cover for Fernandinho. But if they can keep those guys fit for the rest of the season, it's possible they chase it down, but 4 points is still a lot. It's still a lot. I don't know if I don't know how many points I see Liverpool dropping that City don't drop.
Yeah. Who else can stop this Liverpool side at the moment?
No one.
Like I said, they've got two of those big 3 games left to play at home.
City, this is one of them. But of the games against the rest of the big 6, City, I think 4 of them are at home in the second half of the season.
Okay. So it kind of swings in their favour.
But then there are games, like Wolves and stuff, which are harder than we expected them to do.
I think
he's taking
awful challenge.
I think that's
He's had a bit of a tough shift at left back, isn't he, Aymeric Laporte? They're getting a little bit of joy.
I think that's a bit harsh.
Down there on occasion, Fernandinho having to mop up a little bit. Do you think either of these teams need to make any signings in Jan just to embolden their title claim? I know they're two of the best squads going, Will, but would you add anyone? Liverpool, obviously, with Pulisic, so it kind of maybe shows they're still in the market for someone.
I think for City, it's just more adding to that squad depth. Like if you had that first 11, like Pat was saying, like that's a premium 11. But when you delve a little bit deeper, like having Fernandinho, like having his backup DM, like a left back, I think is a must just because of Mendy's injury record. But yeah, I think those two are the main.
That's a quality ball. Main
positions to add. Liverpool just seems to have it when you put all their 22. Out on a team sheet, they seem to have depth and.
Hello. Sorry to interrupt,
quality.
mate. Liverpool attacking there. Firmino, I've not seen him for a long time. Pinging the ball back to, was that Trent who threw it in? Van Dijk putting it across the 6-yard box, but it's come to nothing, and it is half-time. Sergio Aguero's 7th goal against Liverpool, sealing the deal after the first 45. Mane looking a little bit downtrodden there, as does Mo Salah. You can see the scenes on the pitch now. Vinny Kompany. He won't be he will be a happy man at the moment, sorry. Manchester City grew into the game, didn't they, after 10-15 minutes? Looked a little bit flat-footed, but quite comfortable at the end there. Not really conceding an awful lot of chances after that sort of post-scare. So I imagine Guardiola, 0 changes, lads? McCubbin?
I can't see why he would change anything at this stage.
After 50-60.
Yeah, I think the fullbacks have been pretty decent, actually, for City. Especially after those first 20 minutes. Yeah, I can't see either team changing anything, to be honest, because it is a very even game. I think Liverpool will just will sniff out those mistakes like they did against Arsenal. I think that's their best route in as it stands.
Well,
but yeah, I'm sure if it stays the same.
You might have to make a change, McCubbs, because as we're seeing here, Danilo struggling massively. Loving the plaster over the nose. Shades of Nelly there. They had it on the cheek, didn't they? But might have to replace him after that first half, combative first half. enjoying the half-time music there, Will. I saw a little bit of air guitar when you thought you were safe, away from the prying eyes of our viewers. What's the best half-time song you've ever experienced in your lifetime?
ELO, Mr. Blue Sky, when they put it on St Andrews.
Yeah. Nothing quite like it, is there?
Well, it's a bit like Bow Rap, where you've almost got 3 songs in one, so it just gets you up and gets you going.
Right, apparently we've seen a spike in views at half-time, so we want your questions. We're going to rattle through them before we leave you very briefly. So, Will, any questions that sort of match up to the level of question I just asked you about tunes at half-time? Because I think that's maybe one of the best questions we've had on Football Social. I think I might retire after
Smithy would never have said that.
Exactly, and that's why it was golden.
They are winning, but City have obviously had a few 1-0 leads where they've lost them recently. So if Manchester City don't win tonight, do they still have a chance of winning the league? That is from Eric Quinder.
I think you answered it, didn't you, Pat, when you said that if they lose tonight, that's pretty much it, because Liverpool would have to lose 3 games. We're struggling to see how they'd surrender another 4 points. So, are you in agreement with that still?
Yeah.
Yeah, McCubs, what do you?
If they lose, it's so big. If they lose tonight, they've pretty much lost it. But if they win, tonight, I would bet on City winning the league. I think they come back into it, because I just think Liverpool have been so hot recently, but they weren't amazing at the start of the season, but they got the results. I think they're due to, if they dip off again, to actually be punished this time round, kind of February, March. I just think I would fancy City to go on and win it if they won today. I can see Liverpool dropping points at places it's surely going to happen.
I could see that to an extent. As a City fan, would you be comfortable chasing that 4-point lead down? Do you think that's attainable?
Well, much more comfortable than 10 points if we lose. But if we do lose this,
that's
it is
such a
crazy.
Big swing, isn't it?
If we lose this game, I think the title is theirs. I'd be extreme. Last time they pushed for the title, it was against City as well, and then it's not going to happen in the same way. They're not going to slip up. I think, it'd be too much of a coincidence for happening twice. So, but 4 points. Yeah, I don't know. Just about doable.
A lot of people in the office today, a lot of neutrals saying they'd rather Manchester City win the league than Liverpool. Now, how do you boys feel about this? Because we could be a Man United fan, big local rivals, big historical rivals. Who would you rather see lift that silverware?
I'd rather see City win it. I think if you'd asked me a few years ago, I believe I actually, in the Suarez year, I actually was rooting for Liverpool, but I think my thoughts have changed since then.
Why is that?
Well, I think partly because City won it last season so convincingly, and it's kind of like, well, you know what, it's not actually, they can have it, sort of thing. It's a bit like Liverpool with the Champions League. I'd rather see Liverpool win the Champions League than City win the Champions League, because I'd just like to see City always fail in Europe. In the same way that I'd just like to see Liverpool always fail on domestic front.
Just the familiarity of it.
Yeah, for sure.
Just doesn't change.
Like an old pair of jeans. Yeah.
Pato, who would you rather see lift the Premier League then?
City.
City. Is that just because it's easy to like a Pep Guardiola side?
I don't particularly like this Pep Guardiola side. I like Raheem Sterling. I support Raheem Sterling. But also, I don't know, I just think that when Liverpool are good, everybody's so delighted about it. And there are so many pundits as well who are Liverpool fans. They'll just be so miserable if they lose that it'll be great. It'll just be I don't know. What I really want is for them to get as close as possible to winning it, and then to lose.
Another slippy jig.
It would just be great. Yeah, I don't know. I would like for maximal misery for everybody who's not me.
That's classic man strike, that. Is that on the end over there? Mr. Brum.
Well, I have to live and work in Manchester, so I'd like Liverpool to do it. Just for the same reason as a Patter, really. Just to see a big grey cloud over Manchester.
Yeah, see, I respect that.
Yeah.
There always is a grey cloud over Manchester.
There is, yeah. It comes in from the moors, which a lot of people don't know. It's got its own microclimate.
Weather joke. Let's tick.
That's not a joke. That's a fact.
It's a little microclimate.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Fantastic. First time the word microclimate has been used on the Football Social. I'm all for it. Jimbo, who'd you rather see lift the league? See. Right, next.
Lots of Liverpool fans getting in contact about why certain people weren't playing. So why wasn't Keita and Fabinho starting from the very beginning?
Keita and Fabinho. I think it's been injury and form, right, with Keita. I'm not sure about Fabinho. I'm guessing he just went with the energy, the sort of the ability to track a man to contain in Henderson over Fabinho.
Yeah, pretty.
It feels like they think we're better informed than we are. Like we have no information. It doesn't make sense.
That direct line to Klopp, fire him please upstairs.
Well, maybe a better one will be who is in line to not replace Fernandinho, but kind of support him in that DM slot if Manchester City were to bring someone in.
Okay. I mean, I've had an answer for this for a long time. I'll start with you guys over there.
It's really difficult because they missed out on Fred and Jorginho in particular in the summer, isn't it? It's so difficult because I don't feel like there's a player with his
bit of a
exact
dearth
skill
of
set.
top DMs.
Yeah, there really is.
Yeah, I mean, and Fernandinho had to grow into that role, didn't he? Had to mature and adapt into that role.
Are you going to say your boy?
What, Ruben?
Oh, no. I thought you were going to say Alan.
Oh, Alan. Well, I just kind of think Alan's 27, 28, maybe cost too much. But you're a massive fan of Alan. He, of course, went in our team of the year. Alan can do it all. You very articulately described him as Vidal on fast forward.
I don't really remember,
Why do I remember your script?
All just blurs together.
Don't try this fake modesty.
Look, it was more memorable for you than it was for me.
Classic. Right. I would go for Ruben Neves, personally. I think that, I mean, he, to a lesser extent than Alan, because Alan's numbers have been freakish. Alan of Napoli we're talking about here. He can contribute going forward. I think at the start of the season, his numbers might have dwindled now. He was taking around 2.5 shots a game, which is the same as Paul Pogba. He was still contributing very solidly on the defensive end. And he's the sort of... Him and João Moutinho are the beating heart of that side, aren't they? He's got a very good passing skill set, which Fernandinho also has in his locker. Maybe added to his game later on as well. So, yeah, I'd go for Ruben Neves, but get your suggestions in the comments below. Jimbo, you're the Man City fan. Quickly, who would you like to take?
I don't know who I'd like to take because there's so many options, but I don't know if they can fulfil the role that Fernandinho does. But Pep seems to be very adamant on De Jong from Ajax. He's, I think Ronald Koeman was saying that Pep just keeps on asking about him, and De Ligt as well. But I don't know. We've seen midfielders try and perform the same role that Fernandinho has with Gundogan and KDB, who are top quality midfielders. But I don't know. It's very tough to fulfil that role that he does. But yeah, Frankie De Jong, just because it's a different shout.
I think it's a good shout. Yeah.
Talking of very tough, Jurgen Klopp has it all to do in the second half, doesn't he? And we've got a video now where he sat down with Gary Neville to discuss Liverpool as a whole.
In terms of the title, I mean, I know that you obviously are going to get asked about it a lot in the next few months. It's just inevitable.
Hopefully.
Yes, you will, I'm sure. Are you aware, last time Liverpool were going for the title in 2013-14, there was a huge emotion in that last couple of months. How, just the city, the passion, obviously the fact that the club haven't won the title for so long. How do you plan to control that in this next few months in terms of, have you got any, because obviously you experienced it at Dortmund as well, where a team hadn't won a title for 8 or 9 years. How are you thinking of coping with it? Anything different?
I don't know. I will see. We'll see. If it happens, we will see how we deal with it. I think there's nothing we can prepare. It sounds like a luxury problem, to be honest, to deal with a problem like this. And how I said, that's nothing. I don't have wrote it down when I was at Dortmund, so we deal with it like that, and it worked out. We didn't do that. I don't know. We will see. It's life, and in life you always find a solution as long as you're healthy. Our people learned a lot in the last couple of years. They trust the team now again, and all that stuff. All the things around are not important. There was one day when you, together with Alex, won the first title, and I don't know if you still remember how we deal with it. You need luck. You need with players. Injury-wise, in the games, you need all that. You need key moments and all that. We don't know if that will happen. We don't think about it really. That's the truth. Only because we are constantly. Who thinks in December, now January, about being champion? You know it better than I do. I was twice with Dortmund, and we were always in the tunnel because we had no time to think about something else. And I'm pretty sure the first time it was nice. The second time, cool again. And one day it was not clear. When was it clear that you will be champion in the specific years?
The more experience we got, the more you knew when you were. Sometimes January, February, you felt something was happening. You felt not that you were going to win it, but you felt that something was starting to build. Yeah. I mean, you obviously won the title. Do you feel that something's building?
No, we see that. That's obvious. That we are in that position. Who would have really imagined that? In the summer when people said, yeah, it's a good team, Champions League final, and now that's nothing. It's last season. So and you have a really difficult, all of us, but we as well, a really difficult preseason because of the World Cup. Coming back, you want to work on pretty much everything, and you work with players. They are now playing U23 and stuff like this. Wonderful kids, fantastic boys, really. But it was clear they will not make 40 games in a season. So that's the situation. And now we are in a really good moment. That's true. But we have to go to Manchester City and play there, and play all the other big ones apart from Arsenal on top from now on, whenever, and the others. So they fight for the league. It's football. So I don't need to know now what will be in May. So who cannot live with the time between now and May? Go on holiday and switch off all television and radios and stuff like smartphones, and then come back in May and have to look what happened. I cannot change that. I don't want to. I want to enjoy the ride until May. For us, the target was to qualify for Champions League. And even that is not sure. Because because the others, they can win 20 games in a row. Okay, we don't have 20 anymore, but they can win 17 games in a row. And then they have, I don't know how many points. We have to only be focused on us, and that's what we do. And so far, the mood in the club and around grew. So it's better and better and better and better. Together with this team, we will see where that leads us to. That's all.
Well, I can't possibly comment on that interview because I was deep in a dairy milk there for that 3 minutes. Gentlemen, let's go back to the January transfer window, because I want to talk about someone you tweeted about earlier today, Patrick Van Stroheim. Marcus Thuram.
Yeah.
Looks like a very exciting young striker. We might see him on different shores soon.
Yes.
Can you take us through a couple of youngsters that you've had, that have appeared on your radar?
Well, I was talking about Marcus Thuram because Arsenal have been linked with Cengiz Under from Roma. Rumoured bids of around 60 million euros, and that seems extremely steep to me. And to me, one of the most exciting young players around in Europe at the moment is Marcus Thuram, who is the son of Lilian, and he plays for Guingamp as a striker. So he's 21 years old, he plays in Ligue 1. This is his second full season at kind of top 5 league level. And he's got 7 goals and 1 assist so far this year, which is pretty damn good in 14 starts. It gets more impressive when you realise that Guingamp are bottom of Ligue 1. They've scored 14 goals. So he's responsible for 8 of those. I had
Goal shy, Guingamp.
I had a look today, and there are 5 players in Europe's top 5 leagues who are under 25 and take more shots inside the box per game than Thuram. And obviously getting shots inside the box is what you want from a forward, though he can play as a wide man and as a striker. There are only 2 players in Europe's top 5 leagues under the age of 25 who complete more dribbles per game than him. So he's right at the top of what it's possible to be for a young player. Yeah. And he's not just under 25, he's 21. And he's doing it on a horrible team.
Stats, his underlying numbers suggest he's ready for the next step away from Guingamp. Encyclopedic knowledge, as always, from Pato. If you want him to profile any other young players, get your suggestions in the comments below. But we go back over to Manchester, where the teams are coming back out on the pitch. Yes, Brazia is excited. Little flick of the finger there. What do you think Jurgen Klopp has said to his Liverpool team at half-time? Starting with this end of the sofa, let's make our way down as we try and unpick Jurgen's brain.
I think he's gone cool, calm and collected. I think he said 21 unbeaten. We don't want to lose it here because 21 is the same unbeaten streak, of course, when the Undertaker got beaten at WrestleMania. So he doesn't want to see scenes like that. Be cool, calm and composed and say, you got this in your locker.
Oh, yeah?
That's a great
I don't think there's any better suggestion than that, to be honest.
How do you follow that?
I can't.
A winning run, comparable with that of the Undertaker.
Also, this though, I feel like when the teams have tended to lose their unbeaten streaks at this stage of the season, I think Chelsea a couple of years ago in their first season under Conte did it, lost it against Tottenham in January, I think.
Yeah.
And City did it about this time last season against Liverpool, didn't they? When they lost 4-3. And I believe Man United did it way back in 2011 against Wolves. It's Mick McCarthy's Wolves.
Good knowledge.
But like...
It kind of, I feel like it kind of re-galvanises the side when they lose anyway.
Yeah,
watching the documentary on Manchester City, that kind of shocked the squad back into action. They were kind of coasting up until then, weren't they? And it sort of redoubled their efforts. I feel like that happened to City as well after that defeat to Lyon in the Champions League.
As an Arsenal fan, that is not my experience. Like a loss in January tends to make everyone realise that actually we should lose quite a lot more than we have been losing.
February is historically your terrible month, isn't it?
But we normally get a nice dirty loss in January to the likes of Bournemouth, and then February everybody downs tools for a month. And we might as well just not turn up to those games, conserve our energy for a big March when we also lose all the games.
If you'd like to know what Patrick would do about Arsenal and how to fix them, then let us know in the comments below, and we'll revisit that topic later. But no changes made, as everyone kind of intimated at. So it's as we were, Liverpool stroking it round the back here. Let's just sit. Do you think... Stop it. Do you think Manchester City would just be happy to contain them for the next 10, 15 minutes?
No, definitely.
Can you contain yourself as well?
I'd say the energy they came out with at the start of the first half, they were just everywhere, all over us. Same with us to them, to be fair. It was just players run at each other blindly. But
Bernardo.
Distribution has not been tremendous.
If that was Lovren, he 100%, he 100% jumps in there, doesn't he?
Pure
Supermarket sweet.
If we just keep our calm, I think that's the key to this game. We've got I do see us going behind before. I still think my 2-1's on, but we'll go behind first and then we'll score another. But I don't know. We just need to stay calm because these are the games that we'll butcher with some horrible John Stones pass that gets company a yellow card kind of action.
Go behind, did you say?
I think we'll go behind before
Stop being so cynical. This is
think
what
you're
he's
going to concede
overcompensating. He's
2
being
goals?
cynical, isn't it?
No, sorry, no. We'll concede before we then.
Oh, then win. Do you think,
sorry, that was my bad.
Did anyone actually have Sergio Aguero's first goal scorer? Because if not, that's pathetic.
Yeah, it was
from
silly.
us.
It was
Pathetic collective
I'm trying to
effort.
be rogue here, but it's just
Right.
not.
I mean, our Merrick Laporte.
That's too
It's
rogue.
not on. It wasn't even close, was it, Will? But I like
Actually,
it.
he
Dream
assisted
big,
for
I
the
like
goal, Chris. So,
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
yeah, why don't you stick that in your pipe?
Did you? I thought it was Bernardo.
Touche.
No, it probably was.
But you said it with such confidence.
Yeah, I did.
I believe you,
you.
mate. I respect it. Go on, let's have a few questions and keep it ticking over until something big happens, and it looks like something might.
Bernal says, do you think that Liverpool need to acquire a new defender in the transfer window to have a chance to win the Premier League and make a decent run in the Champions League as well? So he's seeing it not just for the Premier League historic win, but on both fronts.
Liverpool was that?
Yes, that was
to have
Liverpool.
a chance of winning the Premier League. They do have a chance of winning
And
the
the
Premier
Champions League.
League. Okay.
I think that's Klopp probably wakes up in feverish. After a feverish nightmare of Van Dijk going down with some sort of like cruciate injury, doesn't he? Because all of a sudden, if it's Matip and Lovren, then they're not competing on any front whatsoever. But yeah, I can't think of a top centre half that Liverpool would.
I think they need to get in a finished article, wouldn't they? There's not really, there's no point bringing in a young defender or a defender on the cheap in January unless there's an exceptional one. Unless you can get Chiellini or someone.
Potential throwing you under the bus material here, McCubbin.
Yeah,
Godin might be a suggestion, by the way, who's probably not going to sign a contract. There might be a bit of experience to keep them ticking over until the end of the season. Apparently he's winding out his contract with Atleti. But have you spotted anyone in your scout reports that you've scribed recently as a good young centre back?
Not really. I don't think I have covered centre backs recently. So yeah, I mean obviously De Ligt is obviously like the outstanding candidate,
dream
isn't he? Like. But I can't see him going to Liverpool next summer.
I think De Ligt.
I can see De Ligt getting a world record.
Oh, that's good.
Raheem Sterling picks it up in a promising position. Little flick there.
Go on, Bernardo.
And Bernardo's looking to recycle to
Bernardo's been
Sane.
sensational in this game, by the way.
Yeah,
the ref's down, the ref's down. Fantastic.
Excellent. Collectors aren't there. Referees hit the deck. He's eating grass. He's mooing. All of the above. Big crossfield switch from Wijnaldum. Liverpool back in the attack. Come on, Liverpool. Give us something. We want a game here, don't we, lads? Fernandinho cutting it out again, expertly. Will, a couple more questions, bro?
Chris, the only reason I asked this question is because it could come up about 3 times in the last 2 minutes. What has happened to the hype behind Maxime Lopez from Olympique Lyon?
Ooh, Pat, do you want to field this?
Well, Lyon have got Maxime Lopez. Was he not at Marseille?
I mean, I can double check. I've got an OL here.
I mean, if it's come up from three times from 3 different people and they've got it wrong, then I'll be disappointed in Team FD.
I might just not know what I'm talking about, to be fair.
Marseille, you are correct.
Smashed it.
Boy. What's happened is Marseille have got quite a lot worse, and now they're talking about doing a fire sale in the winter window. I think getting rid of Abdenour and getting rid of Clinton and G. A couple
Is Rudy
of others.
Garcia still there?
Yeah, he's still there. But obviously, they had a bit of a turnover last season. They lost on Gisa, and now they've got Strootman in instead. They still have Payet, they still have Thauvin. So I think that it's just generally a bit of a decline on Marseille's part. But Maxime Lopez, he's always kind of struggled for position. Like, at times I wondered if he was going to play this kind of what's called a free 8 role, it seems, at Man City. You know, the first time I heard that phrase, De Bruyne was saying it, where you're playing more like a 10, but in a midfield 3. Right. And then other times he was playing out wide. So I don't know, but I'd welcome some expertise from somebody else. Maybe when I spend the next couple of months in France, I can try and watch some Marseille games.
Yeah, of course, Pato going to Paris for a couple of months, leaving us high and dry. But Raheem Sterling,
no, it's not a pen.
has not been left high and dry by. Was that Robertson? Great recovery tackle there.
Was it?
Calmly out of defence by Wijnaldum. I think that was well timed.
Do you think the referees?
I know it's well timed.
Do you think the referees have had a mandate in the last year to be more dramatic with their poses?
We'll just watch Mike Dean.
Yeah, striking.
Want a bit of that Mike Dean social action?
Yeah, sort of snappy.
It is good for
cheerleadery.
Incredible facial hair from Raheem Sterling.
Right.
Look at this.
Closer with the challenge here. And Raheem's got his arm wrapped around Robertson's head. As much as I'd like that to be a penalty, I don't think it is, in my opinion, lads.
I mean, it's not good from Robertson.
No.
It's just bad touch from Raheem.
6-1.
What? Okay.
6-1, half a dozen the other, no?
Yeah, but you can't give a defender a penalty in his own box. I don't think Raheem Sterling's really done much wrong. But
fair enough.
it would have been. I agree, it would have been a soft
Sane.
10, but I think it's bad defending from Robertson.
Sane's won it back in a promising position there.
We have a lot more control in this
Just
second
don't get the
half,
same overlap from him, do you? Bernardo Silva's working overtime here. That's a lovely ball in, though.
That was very risky.
Smash it,
Fernandinho. Long range. No.
Don't take a no.
Shouldn't have taken my advice there.
It's been a while since he scored a bit of a humdinger, hasn't he? He's got that in his locker, Fernandinho. But yeah, maybe Ruben Neves scores that in a year's time.
Feels like City have got a bit more control at the
definitely,
moment.
100%.
But then again, maybe Liverpool are a little bit. It does seem like Liverpool are a little bit more content to not have the ball this season than they were last season or the season before.
I feel like just with that front three, it's just that they've just got the tools to be able to hit teams on the break so devastatingly that they don't have to expend that energy in pressing, do they, as much. So almost a bit more of a pragmatic approach.
I think maybe that's why we're not seeing overlapping as well from Laporte, because the last thing they've got a goal up, they don't actually need to attack.
Yeah,
they can afford to be a bit more conservative and not end up in situations like this.
And
that's fantastic.
we do have another price boost, and it could happen imminently because Alexander Arnold has broke it. It's Salah to score the second goal at 13-2. Odds accurate at the time recording, terms and conditions apply. Of course, have to say all that. But 32, not bad at all there. Mo Salah not really threatened in the last sort of 20, 25 minutes. Has a Liverpool not really seeing a lot in the final third in the first 10 minutes of this opening half.
Aguero
playing on the wing. What
I mean, Aguero playing at right back.
Yeah,
that's
the major change.
Oh God,
yes, Rashi. One-on-one with Lovren.
He's been a
No
bit
one's
shaky
enjoying
with those
that
clearances
situation.
tonight, Virgil, hasn't he? A few little
few
stray shots off the tee.
A few little flicks.
Why does Pep call
Kung fu flicks.
Raheem Rashi?
I don't know. I think it's just a way of kind of. It's very hard to shorten Raheem to like Ra, like
call
the
him
sun, like the sun
Raz.
god.
Because I call Rashford Rashi, just out of affection.
But that's just a lack of
annoying thing,
imagination on your part, isn't it?
Yeah, of course.
You should call him Raheem.
But yeah, that'd be interesting, wouldn't it?
That's a pet peeve at football when fans call the players first names when they're shouting at them.
Yeah.
Come on, Rick, you're not mates with him.
I do that to be fair.
yeah.
I like to give off the
Yeah,
because it's
idea that
like
imagine
I
your
might
friends
be
with
with them,
it's like when your mum's telling you off, isn't it? You know when you get the full first name.
Yeah.
That's when you know you're in for an absolute the head right treatment. Let's say. A couple more questions while Robertson puts in another big tackle on Raheem Sterling. It's starting to fire up. We're starting to have a bit more of an open, expansive game on our hands, aren't we?
This is what I expected the game to be. The first
frenetic.
The first half was very messy, but both teams
First time I've seen Firmino on the ball.
they've come out. I think they know what they want to do this half.
Oh, here we
Both
go,
teams,
James.
to be fair.
Liverpool in a threatening position here. Mo Salah. Oh,
Yes,
and
Sane.
that's
Sane.
great tracking back from Sane.
Probably the only player on the pitch who can match Salah.
Pace, yeah.
Tell you what's good for in a game like this, having Vinny company at the back. So he was definitely missing for that Leicester game, and I think the Palace game as well. Just having that steel grit to, you know, when you're 1-0 up and carry you through.
And going back to what Ralph Honigstein was saying about how this game can be decided by individual moments, that's what happened in the Palace and Leicester losses. It was the individual errors. It looked like a bit of fatigue, and just worldies that you can't account for.
Yeah.
But talking of worldies, Robertson down the left.
Here we go. Ping Pavard.
Trent! Oh, he skewed it wide, but we've had a shot. Get in there. Come on, Liverpool.
At long last.
I wanted Pavard then. World Cup coming on.
Oh, that was beautiful.
Finger clock.
Then he picked.
Well.
He's got such a good free kicking shot on him at times, Alexander-Arnold.
Go on then, pick us another peach of a question. Buddy.
First change.
Oh, wow.
Fabs. We did kind of...
Milner off.
Milner off.
A little bit.
I thought a bit more Henderson. Oh, is it?
Oh, is that Supla?
Look at his super villain facial hair. Oh, I'm not a fan of that at all.
Terrible.
Do what you want, mate. Don't listen to him.
The fraternity, the dodgy facial hair.
Has Henderson been moved out into the right of that midfield for him?
Fabinho has been bought on for Jimbo Milner, and, you know, we go again. Couple of questions, please.
Yeah, RW27 says, is Lacazette overrated with 3 out of 7 Premier League goals coming against Fulham and most of his others coming against newly promoted clubs?
Most of his others. Getting critical for who he scores his goals against. Pato, have you been impressed with him as an Arsenal fan and the way he's sort of maybe adapted his game a little bit to play with the Aubameyang?
Are they against newly promoted clubs? I mean, if he'd scored against Wolves this season, I'd be kind of impressed. Wolves are better than most of the clubs that are already in the league. It depends if you only rate him on the basis of goals scored, and I think actually the people who like him tend to like him for other reasons. I think his link-up play is fantastic. He's incredibly calm on the ball. I actually love Lacazette. I think he's a really selfless forward. I think that if he could actually play the Firmino role at Liverpool.
I was about to say, he reminds me of Firmino. He's your Firmino, and if he can score 15 goals and register, 5-6 assists, and facilitate other players around him, it's brilliant, isn't it?
And like Firmino, he commits more fouls than almost anybody else on the field, which is actually really good, because your striker can tend to commit fouls without getting booked for them. So he's actually really good at tracking back. I mean, I'm a big fan of Lacazette. I think there are possibly times this season where we would have looked a bit more coherent with him than with Aubameyang. I don't know. It depends. If people around you are saying that he's one of the best strikers in the league, maybe they are overrating him a little bit. But is he a very good player? Yeah, he is.
Yeah, and I just think he makes other players better. Like he's not going to be your standout striker, but definitely elevates other people's output.
Our attack last season was better with him.
He scores great goals as well, doesn't he?
Yeah, and our attack last season was better with him up front and Alexis than it is now with him and Aubameyang. You know what else? He's an elite celebrator. He actually celebrates in a really enjoyable way.
People and
he goes up and high-fives people, and he just he screams, and then obviously there's the one where he just stands there and looks majestic. I mean, I'm a big fan of Lacazette.
Bit of a rasping effort there from Danilo, who's also got it in his locker, hasn't he, to score a banger. I was just flashing past the post, a little bit closer than we thought, wasn't it, Jimbo?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, City need to do more of this in general. Just be brave enough to just take a shot on, because a lot of the time we do try and walk the ball in. I know it's kind of Pep's way of playing, but I just want to see some more shots from outside the box. I don't know the numbers, but I'm guessing it's not very much, because I think it's only Delph, Fernandinho, and maybe Danilo or Walker that actually do. And they're the players you think might have a crack, might have a beautiful moment.
Zinchenko likes to give it a go as well, doesn't he?
It's all the players that don't get an opportunity to go forward, and I think they just think, might as well. So, I don't know, I personally love that. I want to see more belters, because...
it's difficult, isn't it, being a City
fan? I know.
Well, we've seen the benefits in close games of people doing that. With someone like Shaqiri, who might come on for Liverpool, we just saw him on the sideline there. When he came on and got his... who did he get a couple of goals against?
Man United.
Manchester United, yeah. I mean, a couple of those were shots from distance that got deflections, weren't they? That got little flicks. So, yeah, maybe there's some justification in that resentment, that lack of shooting. Right, let's have a couple more questions then.
A big question up from Doug in the gallery. He's put in the comments, who would you rather be stuck in a lift with in Football Daily? Would it be Joe, Hamill or Pato? Lots of vote for Joe so far, so just feeding you all there.
Oh, it depends what mood he's in.
Is it?
He can be one of the most obnoxious people in the world. But he is nicer than he seems.
Okay.
But, my God, he'd start panicking. You know what he'd get like.
If he's stuck in a lift,
you'd have to peel him off. You'd have to peel him off the wall.
Yeah.
But you could eat him if you got stuck for too long, and you wouldn't feel bad about it at all.
Okay.
I feel like you and I could go into like boot mode. Like sleep. I'd just sit there head down. I'm pretty content as long as I know help's on the way, Will, you know?
Yeah.
I think Joe would definitely be the one to try and find a way out, wouldn't he?
Yeah, but
With
he'd
very
make
little-
kill you
little
both.
game,
Yeah,
right?
make things worse.
Let's
by
just
doing
saw through the cables.
He's definitely, he's the one. He'd try and go full John McCain, wouldn't he?
John McCain, did you say? Or John?
Okay.
Not the ex-presidential candidate. I meant Die Hard.
Oh, God.
What a moment! Let's get another question of that standard because that was absolutely absorbing.
Oh, God.
Yeah, R.I.P.
That was
Got one
very in depth as well. That was actually I've learned a lot about the team.
Yeah, complicated question.
Sunny and Dylan Gamer says, what are your top 3 signings of the season? Mine are number 1, Allison, number 2, Torreira, and number 3, James Maddison.
Ooh, McCubs.
Hard to argue with the first two. I do think Alisson's been the signing of the season, personally. Big fan of him. As for the third one, though, there have been a few. My mind goes blank. Maddison has been good. I think Fabinho's now showing to be a really good signing for Liverpool. We kind of always thought that he would be. Try to think at the other kind of top teams. Spurs obviously didn't make any signings. United didn't make any big signings either.
Was there any transfers you boys got wrong that turned out that you were panning at the start of the season? Like, I thought Axel Witsel was a terrible signing. He's been brilliant for Dortmund. Does anyone else,
Same.
you know, confess up about getting a transfer wrong at the start of this campaign?
I was panning Fabinho. I saw his debut against Chelsea in the League Cup and I just thought flop. But Klopp has turned him not into a flop and he's on his way up. Couldn't think of another OPP word there. Sorry, mate.
Yeah, right. almost perfection there, mate.
Sorry, I'll let you down.
The lyricism's fantastic. Patrick, any transfers you got wrong?
Well, I definitely got Witsel wrong as well. But I don't know. I feel like actually a lot of the...
Hello, chance for Firmino.
Oh,
my
my
God!
God.
Off the line again.
Edison.
And
Wow.
Big
Made up
Vinny
for that
Company
mistake.
clears. What happened there, James?
Edison came out for it. I think Company also went for it as well.
Oh.
Miscommunication. Bops out to Firmino, takes a shot. Edison, I think, recovers.
A lot of men on the line for you there. That was almost impossible to squeeze in. Look at
there's
that,
5
1, 2, 3,
people.
4.
Oh, no, it was. I think it was Company making up for the mistake or miscommunication there. Once again, being let off because, blimey, it could be 2-1 to them, to be fair, with these mistakes. So, very fortunate right now.
Oh, a tiny build-up play there from Liverpool. I love the way that Edison got back there.
Yeah.
That was lightning. Do you remember that video of Joe Hart?
Joe Hart of the Rooney kick.
From a corner, was
yeah.
it with Rooney?
Christ, yeah.
I've never seen a man move across land so quickly. He was, Usain Bolt in his prime. It was absolutely sight to behold. But Liverpool back on the attack
That's
here.
an unbelievable ball.
That is. I love how he cut across that. Alexander-Arnold does stuff like that, doesn't he? Like he does
outside of the boot.
Yeah,
Right.
he puts that extra finesse on something, which
Swass.
suggests he's an absolute baller. Please never use that word on this show again.
I've got a
Otherwise,
t-shirt on
you
that
take,
says-
take your mic off and get out. All right. mate? Bobby Firmino, the man of the hour, has scored from about 2 yards. That was a fantastic deep ball in. I'm not sure who's flicked it back across the goal for him. I think it may have been Robertson.
Yeah. What a
Oh, Jimbo, consolations. Consolations, mate. But we have a game on our hands here. We needed a
true.
goal.
Uh-oh.
If you've just joined us in a hope to see the goal, but instead you're looking at Jim's disappointed face, then please get your
Welcome.
questions in.
Welcome.
Hit the subscribe button. And James, I'm going to have to ask you to describe this.
I was too busy laughing at Will's joke, to be fair. Alexander-Arnold, once again... it's just beautiful.
no.
It's just beautiful.
Bad
Alexander-Arnold
fullback
from the
play,
right-hand side, whips a delicious ball into a Robertson. Takes it first time, I think. Yep, across the box, into Firmino, head.
With his weaker foot as well.
It's a great goal, to be fair.
Company loses his man there.
Company's
Yeah, he
looking
gives
for the
up.
offside flag here.
Danilo switches off as well.
It's a really good goal from them.
That's two absolutely incredible balls in 2 minutes from Alexander-Arnold, isn't it?
But this is the thing. I mean, Firmino's
getting?
been absolutely... Wow.
Jurgen Klopp.
Getting a pot of water out of his pocket just to
Holy
squeeze
water.
it and stare it in the face. Cosmic. Right, Firmino. Having a purple patch recently, isn't he? James, do you fear for the rest of this half now?
I don't know. I did feel that we would concede before.
You did say that.
We were controlling this half. I think that may be the mistake. Well, it wasn't even a mistake. It was just great play from Liverpool. We made a mistake before that we got let off from. So
Maybe
if
been coming then, maybe...
yeah, if we play the way that we were, this half, I think we can. Oh, Sterling's got
Oh
a
my
brilliant
God.
run,
Oh
taking
my
up 5
God,
men out.
Raheem has just taken...
Oh my God, this.
There, that is fantastic.
That would have been like an all-time great
Yeah.
assist, that.
Wow.
There's going to be a shot in there, you know, like similar to the Maradona shot, where there's just 6 players around. And look, at some point,
God, that's so good.
I really want Sterling to score the winner.
Boys, while this replay has happened, Gundogan's come on. Gundogan, I know I call him Gundogan. Gundogan has come off. And, David Silva has come on.
Interesting. Same haircut.
He hasn't really featured very prominently in this game, has he? Maybe returning a little bit too soon.
Yeah, it was quite rash at the beginning of this game. A lot of kind of feisty challenges, which he's kind of... I don't think people appreciate how many kind of feisty challenges he puts in a game.
Scrap on.
Go on, Sterling.
I can't believe how good he is. That's a foul.
His passing hasn't been the usual David Silva, so I'm not surprised that...
No, but both teams are starting to put together really snappy, quick...
This is the game we wanted, to be fair.
Yeah, this is high-quality stuff now. Fernandinho's just absolutely pinched someone's pocket there, hasn't he, and put Sterling in.
Raheem put the game on his shoulders and said, like, this is
I'm really happy, because usually he shies away from the Liverpool games, and it's quite frustrating. He's the only player that I really want to perform well against Liverpool, just because he deserves it, and it's the one team he struggles against, I think, mentally. But if he can score the win, I'm going to flip tables. To be fair,
this table deserves it. Look at the state of this table.
This is trash.
I'll break cleaning off.
Waiting room vibes.
I'm
surprised they didn't bring KDB
in any given waiting room. You know, that's a good selection of literature there, Patrick Armstrong.
Well,
what are people saying in the comments now that Liverpool have equalised? Is it all Liverpool in the ascendancy, or do people think City are going to come back out on top?
Well, some Liverpool fans are daring to dream. Some are talking about that unbeaten season. Might be a tad too early. But people just happy for general action, I think. And a lot of people happy for Bobby Firmino to score. But a question I highlighted earlier, which I wanted to ask you guys, I know you've got the hot takes. It's from Vacuum Richie. He says, what is the dumbest opinion you've ever heard? And was the person being genuine? Because I know a lot of people do
just in general.
We'll go for football.
I'm not sure it counts as dumb if they weren't being genuine, does it?
Yeah, but you know, some people do. You know, like when you do hot takes, I mean, some people like to do it just to squeeze themselves in.
Yeah, just to get some airtime. I hear you. But there's always a debate in our office, isn't there, about you have to win trophies to qualify as a world-class player.
I mean, that's only Obaseki.
That is frustratingly dumb.
That annoys me. I did see someone the other day, I think being genuine, a United fan, who propositioned Twitter to name a better right-back or left-back in the league than Ashley Young, and I found that completely odd. And I think he also said that the praise for Robertson was media propaganda. So I found it pretty entertaining, to be fair.
Nice.
I saw one of the newspaper journalists. I think it was a guy from the Telegraph. He once said that the belief that Thierry Henry. He said the belief that Thierry Henry could be the greatest Premier League player ever was just a London thing, which I thought was bold.
That is.
I can tell you, Pat, it wasn't, because I actually had an Arsenal shirt with his name on the back, and I support Birmingham City.
Was it long sleeve?
No, short sleeve, and I live in the Midlands.
Props to you.
It did reach its way out there.
All right, class. I think they're two very solid answers. Good question. What about you, Jim?
I don't know.
You're too engrossed in the game, aren't you? Let's go back to social corner. I'll leave Jim
probably say one myself,
to comment on the action,
Connor Prince, who's been MVP of the stream with some fantastic questions, says, what are your thoughts on Thiago Motta's 2-7-2 formation?
I've not looked into it, really. I can't comment on it.
You know what? Tifo have done a fantastic video explaining it. Shout out to Tifo, brilliant channel. Little 5-minute explainer vids, and they'll do a much more thorough job than we can on...
Did you say 2-7-2?
Yeah.
It's
two guys in goal?
No one. Goalkeeper in midfield.
It goes from like...
It's
not in a traditional
way. Or is he going across the pitch?
There we go.
Oh, that's sick.
Back to the game, though, because Sane is gassing down that left wing and fails to put Sergio Aguero in. Unfortunate. But Sane's come to life a little bit, hasn't he?
They need to bring KDB in.
Positive outlet for them in the first half.
There's more space for the wingers suddenly.
Yeah. Playing a bit narrow.
The game has opened up so much.
Wow, that's good.
Wow. There's actually an argument going on the chat with people sticking up for Pat here, because someone said Patrick Van Charlton thinking Sterling is better than Ronaldo is the dumbest opinion ever made. And then someone actually backed you up there, Pat, saying, never said Sterling was better than Ronaldo, just had a better year.
Yeah. Thank you.
So there you go, just cleaning up, just doing my work for me.
Yin and yang, just, reasonable and, football game of opinions, it will. Anyway, let's have some more opinions.
Do we think that Shaqiri can make a pivotal change in this game if he comes on?
I think he will. I think he will come on, won't he? I think he's Klopp's go-to man to win a
I'm
game.
eating my words now, aren't I?
Yeah, why would you touch some wood?
Oh, no,
Don't believe
this
out as we speak.
Yeah.
This is PG. So. I think he will. Wow. I think he will go over to Shaqiri. I think
at 1-1 away from home, you think he'll bring on an attacker?
I mean, now I've heard you say that. You've thrown my opinion, but I saw him warming up earlier, and that might have been because they were a goal down. But
no, take that back. Down. Take that back.
I like it. Oh, well read.
He's the coolest.
I think he might come on. Attack is the best form of defence with Jurgen Klopp. No, it's not. It's Van Dijk, isn't it?
Oh, here we go.
To Sane.
Sterling. That's it.
I just spat everywhere.
Just Sterling taking the scruff off the neck again, feeding Sane. That's brilliant.
There you go. You got an assist for Sterling at least.
What a finish!
Oh, I've gone all
better
dizzy.
than Cristiano Ronaldo. So
just spat everywhere. I'm sorry.
Oh my, that was a fantastic finish. Yeah, he loves that finish, doesn't he, James? When the replay comes on, take us through that glorious daisy cutter into that bottom right-hand side.
The thing I'm happiest about this is Sterling takes the ball, controls it, gives really, really clever pass to Sane, who drives into the box, and as you said before, he's done that finish time and time again.
Aguero's done such a good job of dragging the ball back.
It's so good. Brilliant.
And Alexander still almost gets to him.
It's an incredible finish from Sane. Hits the post and goes in. Oh, it's beautiful. Really good goals this game. Really good goals this game.
Just through Alexander Arnold's legs, isn't it?
Yeah, put that in your pocket, mate.
Just a little foot. Little touch. Just under his
almost
leg
ricochets out.
His goals have been real quality this game, to be fair.
He's got a few against Liverpool, hasn't he? Notched up a fair amount at Sane. I think he enjoys playing against.
Pep loved
it's interesting that these two goals have come from players who actually have been really quiet overall. Like Firmino's done nothing in this game. Sane's done a little bit more, but hasn't been quite as active as Sterling. So maybe it's the guys who it's the off the ball movement. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, it's those fine margins, isn't it? It's actually finding a pocket of space because those fullbacks, like you say, are very capable of getting back despite being an outlet going forward as well. But this, maybe Shaqiri does come on now, chasing the game. No. That's what I want to see. Get that little tree stump on the pitch. I love him. Gives us hope that people, our Samatta type can, play football.
These 18 minutes will be
Samatta type.
Yeah.
Thanks, mate.
Huge.
Well, I thought, you said judicious earlier, so I thought I'd bring something to the table. Let's have a couple more questions, because surely the Liverpool fans are absolutely spitting in the comments, and if you've not spat at Will yet, then get down, in the comments below and give him some grief.
It's 4D, it's 4D. So I think the mood summed up perfectly.
That's a handball, surely.
I think the mood perfectly summed up by Ray Doc saying, "Let's go Manchester," which I think perfectly sums up the whole mood there. More of a statement from Dara Hughes. He says, "I'm a United fan and I'm up for City because I don't want Liverpool to go unbeaten."
Yeah, share the same sentiment completely. I really celebrate that Sane goal actually. And I'm looking forward to seeing it back later. I think it was quite an unconventional celebration.
You've got quite a gravelly voice at the minute. You sound a little bit seductive over there. I have. When you said I can't wait to see that goal later, I was thinking, you're going to put some candles on and replay that goal over and over.
What can I say? I'm a little bit ill.
You need to get in the office and do some VOs with this absolute source of a voice.
I do. I could change my style, couldn't I? Yeah. 2019, a new.
Don't say it.
Don't know.
Dulcet tones. Go on. William, some more comments.
Yeah, Harry Hamilton says, "Don't worry, Liverpool will still win the league." Harry said, "I'm an Arsenal and Rangers fan."
Arsenal and Rangers. That was
Rangers. That classic combo.
I hate Liverpool. I'm a United fan and really don't want Liverpool to go unbeaten. So lots of
pretty much
really negative sentiment in the chat.
It's kind of stating the obvious, though, isn't it?
Really? But people asking more on a tactical front, what can they do next? Obviously, we've talked about Shaqiri. Is there anything else we can look at?
Here he is. Look at those thighs.
He's got monstrous thighs, hasn't he?
Like a young Roberto Carlos.
He's like a 6 foot man compressed into like a 5'6" man.
When you're trying, you put a picture into a PowerPoint and you drag it out of proportion. You're like,
the aspect ratio's off.
Before you realise it, there was the corner there. Yeah.
You've not grabbed the corner, you've grabbed the side. It looks like that, but. We love him, and I think he's good enough to have an impact on this game.
It would be crazy. I'm interested to think of how many there probably is out there, but who has got relegated in one Premier League season and then won the Premier League the following
Ooh,
season. Has anyone actually done it?
That's great.
Because
that would
happen
done
to
it. Bit of
Shaqiri,
trivia.
wouldn't
Maybe throw that out to the fans in the comments. We'll have a little think. But who do you think is going to come off for Shaqiri?
Probably, yeah, I'd say
Henderson.
yeah.
Oh, Henderson.
When did
Or
Delph
Wijnaldum,
get
maybe.
relegated?
No,
No,
he left
surely
it-
after that.
yeah, he left before they
Someone
got
with
relegated.
Swansea, perhaps?
Because he said
No,
he
I
signed the
think
contract.
Abraham
wasn't
to go
he,
back
with
to
Chelsea?
Didn't Dyer do the
Oh, yeah, that
opposite?
was
Didn't he
funny.
win the league with Leicester and then get relegated with Swansea?
Nathan
Is that
Dyer
right?
did.
He did the reverse, I think.
Some of the people in that Leicester squad that have got a Premier League
Yeah.
winners medal, and Steven Gerrard doesn't. It is, I mean, hilarious and tragic at the same time, isn't it? Really. Oh, Mark Albrighton's got a Premier League winners medal.
He's been
Oh, I'd
playing
take
a lot,
nothing
though.
away from him, yeah.
Mark's been a brilliant servant. What a whip he's got on him. We actually spoke about it. Steve Sidwell was on the show, didn't we, for about 10 minutes. Mark Albrighton's delivery.
I remember when he
it
was
is a
being
big fan.
spoken about as the next David Beckham when he came through at Aston Villa.
Yeah.
Those are good days.
That's propaganda.
People were
There he is.
disrespectfully referring to him as Poverty Becks, I remember. As well
Mane
as
coming
Paul
on.
Gallagher. Paul
Mane off.
Gallagher, who played for Leicester as well.
That's
Interesting.
interesting. Yeah,
Mane
very interesting.
has come off in the Liverpool City
Ooh.
game.
No,
Doesn't look
I'm
a very
very
happy bunny
surprised
about it either. So, shoring up that midfield a touch, I guess. Someone's going to play a little bit more reserved. Maybe a diamond Van Strohe. How do you see this? How do you see them readjusting Van Strohe?
I honestly don't know. I mean, it looks like Firmino's dropped a little bit deeper. What we've seen previously has been a sort of 4-2-3-1. Oh my God, with Firmino playing behind Salah. So I don't know. Maybe if Firmino goes into the hole and we see Shaqiri on the right, then we
Yeah, I think
maybe
you're
see
right.
Wijnaldum push up onto the left or something. I'm not entirely sure,
Some of those
but when you're chasing a game like this, I'm not sure it matters all that much formation. It's just a theory, isn't it, Hamill?
Just phone numbers, isn't it, mate?
Yeah, exactly.
It's
It's
the
just
great
nonsense.
Pep Guardiola said in RAF. No, wasn't it? It was Panau's book, wasn't it?
It's someone like that.
Yeah. You actually look a little bit like Honigstein. I'm getting that from your new haircut.
Cheers, bro.
Yeah, so very good.
Handsome German man.
Yeah, very good journo. Go and check him out if you don't know who we're talking about. So extra attacking impetus from Shaqiri. Let's see if it pays
outrageous.
dividends. But
Shame.
City back on the ball. Fernandinho sort of controlling things
Go on,
again.
go on, go
Oh
on,
my
go on.
God, what a ball!
One more.
Oh, moments away there from slipping in Raheem Sterling, who deserves a goal
Fernandinho,
for this
again.
performance, doesn't he?
I'd be.
Van Dijk's been bad.
He's been a little bit last gasp, but I don't know if he's just making up for Lovren.
Yeah, I mean,
James,
that's almost the only part of it.
Yes.
how do you hold on to this victory?
I don't know. Just play the way we are, to be
What's that,
fair. The game's opened up, which has kind of allowed us more kind of freedom in the wide areas. Sterling's actually doing a better job in the inside, kind of, getting round players.
It's got that half space, isn't it? He's just
Yeah, but we've got to
Charging.
be careful of that long diagonal ball into the left hand side because it's the reason they got the goal, and we've seen it a few times since then.
No, you're right. It's a good shout there.
We need to stop them. I know it's a very obvious thing to say. Stop them having the ball because when we have control, we push them so much further. You see them now. The majority of their players are in our half.
Yeah.
So we need to push them back a bit.
But you want Alexander-Arnold trying it from there as opposed to 15, 20 yards
true,
further the pitch. And it's great that Laporte, I suppose, is going to, for you, that he's going to prevent that somewhat because he's going to be a little bit more reserved, like we said earlier, because the two balls that Alexander-Arnold delivered about 10 minutes ago from that danger area were quality, weren't they? But brave distribution out from
God.
Sane's picked it up. 2-on-2.
So open.
Is that Lovren? Who's up against?
Sterling, please.
Go on, Raheem, you deserve a goal, lad. Great defending. Great defending. Robertson's annoyingly so hard to get past, isn't he? So athletic. And look how deep Firmino is, lads. I know he's a bit of a reserve number 9, but he's literally 20 yards into his own half. Here we go. Shaqiri on the ball. And do you think that Pep will shore this up with any subs, boys?
I'm not really sure.
He's
Who's he
Gundogan,
got
hasn't
left?
he?
Has he got Kyle Walker on the bench still?
Kyle Walker is on the bench, yeah.
I don't know whether you risk bringing him on
No,
at this stage.
I
He
think
doesn't
the
give up
only
territory,
player we're going
yeah.
to get on is KDB, personally. I think we're going
more
to
control.
maybe Bernardo Silva off, just hope that Sane's up for a run and KDB pings one to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, KDB's great to bring on to control the game in the last 10, isn't he? But what's happened with Walker? Because I've been hearing from City fans that his form has dropped in the last 4 or 5
he hasn't
games.
been performing the way he was last season. I think hopefully, Danilo against Southampton I thought was quite good because he gets quite a lot of stick from City fans in general.
Is that just because he's not Kyle Walker?
Yeah, he's got a good mistake in him now and again, and who's that gone down? But yeah, Kyle Walker hasn't been the same kind of player he
So
was
not
last
just for giving
season.
away that penalty against Palace.
No.
It's
It's been a continuation. But hopefully the kind of competition from Danilo, you know, because Kyle Walker's a fantastic player on his day. So hopefully he can get back to the form he was in. But yeah, it's just a lack of form, really.
Yeah. Liverpool still being very positive here, aren't they? Now, City are camped in their half, which you don't see very often, and this is looking pretty...
Yes, get up.
It's looking pretty slick now.
Bernardo
really
Silva
There you go, here's the ball.
and Van Dijk have been having a little bit of a spat. Like Bernardo Silva, Van Dijk kind of went down very easily earlier when he was being pressured by Bernardo Silva, and they had a bit of an argument. And now,
Oh my God!
Still scrambling around, pinball in the area. Fabinho's headed it back in.
Fernandinho again gets rid of it.
That's it.
Amazing.
Go on, Sterling. Just
See you
whack it and
later.
run. That's it.
He's just gassed Robertson, and Robertson's like a gazelle.
Oh my God! Come on.
This is it.
What is going on?
Yes.
Sergio Aguero to finish the game.
Oh, what's happening?
What a save!
Great save.
Oh, what a save. Becker's narrowed the angle there. That was huge moment, Jim.
Just had
such good time
flashbacks
from
of when he did against
This is
Reina.
outrageous play.
Raheem Sterling has made Robertson look like a terracotta statue.
That's terrible from Lovren, to be fair.
Why is no one coming back to?
Terracotta warrior. What am I on about?
What a save.
Sterling couldn't have done more there.
One of
He's
the
had a
above.
fantastic game, to be
I
fair.
think he's been,
Sterling has been man of the match. Along with Fernandinho.
That's a
good
great save
save.
from Alisson. Great save.
Oh, I need to be putting the game to bed there. Pep will be seething.
Wowza.
Such good...
Looking emotional.
Such good play from Sterling. Right, let's see if anything can come out from this corner. It doesn't look like you're going... There's 3 men in the box. Doesn't look like huge way.
No, we always play the short corner, to be fair.
Maybe not so good.
But did you
I always say hopeful with balls into the box.
did you wrap up what you were saying about about Van Dijk and Bernardo Silva? Because fair play to Bernardo Silva picking a fight with the largest man on the pitch.
Yeah, he was pressuring Van Dijk, and Van Dijk's way of getting out of it was just to fall over. And then there was a moment earlier where Bernardo Silva ran past Van Dijk, and Van Dijk put his arm out at head height, and Bernardo Silva went down holding his face. And the ref, I don't think the ref saw it, but so yeah, it feels like those two are kind of like having a little argument between them, which is an interesting matchup.
Is the part of you that's not as convinced by Van Dijk as others? Because sometimes I get that impression from you.
I don't think he's positionally very good. I genuinely don't. I think, don't get me wrong, I think he's a very, very good centre-back, but when you ask people what's so great about him, they're often, or rather how he's changed Liverpool's defence, they're often not really able to explain what it is.
Just laughing there because Raheem Sterling's absolutely pumped that into Rose there. But yeah, so you feel like they kind of fall back into hyperbole as opposed to like coming up specific.
No, it's all right.
Mo Salah! It's a save from Edison. Was he offside anyway?
We have been
Might have been
so
going
lucky.
well,
If he's not offside, we have been so lucky this game.
But I think people forget that Liverpool's
Oi,
defence was
go on
already
then.
improving before Van Dijk.
Go on then, have a
came
go.
in, haven't they?
Yes.
Yeah.
Who's
The whole
other guy?
defence
He's taking his hat off.
changed
his
in about
scarf.
a month, and so it's very difficult to attribute it to one guy. I mean, I do think he's very good, but like there are times where if you go back and watch highlights of the games, or not even highlights, but like go back and watch footage, I find you do often see Van Dijk standing still in the wrong position. I think Liverpool are a really good defensive team overall, and I'm not sure that Van Dijk is like the sole reason that they're good.
Yeah,
What's happened here?
So Pep Guardiola is absolutely spitting on the sideline, and it's not because of our latest special, which was Shaqiri to score next at 25-1. Odds are subject to change and terms and conditions apply. He's actually angry because he can't get
What is he?
Gabriel Jesus on? What's going on?
I think he thought...
Who's warming up, by the way? Gabriel Jesus looks like he's coming
Oh,
on.
would it be for that foul?
I think he thought it was a foul, and the ref played on, but it looks like he's going to bring on Walker and Gabby Jesus. But if he
double
doesn't
sub.
stop arguing with the fourth official,
old.
yeah, I think there's a challenge on Fernandinho here. that he
yeah,
thinks
gone over the
should
top
have
of
been
him, hasn't he?
That is kind of quite clearly a foul.
And that wasn't offside, and Liverpool
Oh my
subsequently
God!
put the corner in.
Oh my God!
Stones again off the line!
Oh
Was that clean off the line or was it Edison? I missed
No,
that.
Stones
Sorry.
again.
It's John Stones.
Oh,
John Stones, 2 off the line today, one of his own
is
making.
so great.
I know. Raheem Sterling putting in crunching tackles in the dying embers of the game. That's
God,
he's
my heart,
battered.
man.
He's come through someone and he's put the ball into Rose. This
be off your seat, wouldn't you? Now?
yeah, this has become all about grit and determination.
Oh,
wow.
No Jesus, by the way. He's got his kit back on. It's just Kyle Walker and Danny Sturridge coming on.
Danny Sturridge.
Last 7-8 minutes to try and secure a point, a very vital point for Liverpool. He did it in the dying embers against who?
Chelsea. That was such a good goal.
That was one of the goals of
Bananas,
the season.
that one.
You know, short of Andros Townsend's absolute ping panther.
Is
But
that
who's coming on for? Who's coming on for?
Probably
Laporte,
Laporte. So Danilo getting left back, Walker right back. It would be
James,
the
you were
central.
saying Port's been really good at cutting those like crossfield balls out as well, hasn't he? Like with that extra bit of height. Like Danilo got done for Robertson's assist.
Yeah. I was a bit worried about him coming in as left back because obviously left back is our problem, but I think he's done a decent job today. I can't remember. I think we were saying it before. Can't remember who I was saying it to be fair. But I thought Laporte solidifying his place, being more confident in the City side, would do a better job marshalling Salah than he did in the Champions League. I think he has done today. It's been incredible. Well,
a little bit of retribution.
Yeah, definitely.
Bit of revenge.
He's had a good day.
Well, I know Laporte is, for me, like in the top 3 centre-backs in the world. He's been incredible at the start of this campaign. What were you about to say, Cubs?
I was just saying that I'm not a fan of changing the defence like this with so many, with so little time to go. I think.
Fair play. I thought you were going to say I'm not a fan of Laporte there. I was going to say, well, a little bit of controversy in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's just so risky, isn't it, a game like this to change a defence when they've actually been relatively decent.
That's a great save.
I wonder if it was going in. It's
a
hard to
scuffed
tell.
effort, wasn't it? I feel like that was maybe nestling in.
I was wrong about the
right.
Walker's gone left back and Danilo stayed right back,
Wow.
which is
Do you think that's get to Trent Alexander-Arnold a little bit quicker and cut off some of those deep
Otamendi, what is going on?
Oh my! Wow.
This is where,
if you weren't a fan of the last substitute, you're going to despise this one, mate.
This is
I
where
mean,
we
if
can
it's like for like, then that it is worrying. Well, does Company want to come off?
No, I'm saying it's for Company. I think they might be putting the Fernandinho
Yeah, I think
number
maybe they were thinking about taking somebody else off, and Company was saying,
I think
this is where it goes wrong.
An injury
Is this out of necessity? Yes, a little limp there.
He'll be all right
today.
He has been incredible today.
Yeah, bar 1 or 2 mistakes, which he's largely made up for.
Yeah. A couple of last-ditch recovery tackles, but you kind of expect people to make mistakes against this forward line, don't you? They're so good. Like, they're going to force the errors, aren't they? Be hypercritical. And I don't actually think he wanted to bring him off there, did he? But like a little bit of a dispute on the pitch. But Otamendi for the last 5
I don't know what's going on. I'm extremely nervous. Extremely nervous.
I really like Otamendi, but you have to be with a calm head.
I've got a thing where if you're winning a game and you start piling on defenders, you change the whole dynamic. It may confuse what's going on the pitch from your side of things. So, I don't know. I think if you're playing a winning game, carry on playing it. Don't just pile on defenders at the end of the game. So it's made me really nervous now.
Jim, I've got to say, very level-headed analysis from you today, considering this is a game with a lot of emotion, a lot riding on the line. So
this is huge. This next 5 minutes is absolutely huge, isn't it?
But look at the way Sane and Sterling are both working. You know, it's
like they want to win the. It's like they want to win the league.
This is, I think, the foul that.
Oh, that's a foul.
Who do you actually?
And then he trips over him as well. Yeah.
Braz.
I don't know.
Yeah. Who do you actually think? Again, everyone's thinking.
It's like a scarf off and everything.
He's
ruined his look.
He's throwing his cashmere
What's the matter
about.
with him?
His look come back on.
Pep.
I know Doogie's got a real problem with the way Pep has his hood. He's got it inside out at all times.
Someone else just said that to me as well, and it wasn't Doogie.
McCubbin, what do you make of that scarf? Because you've got quite a strong scarf.
I like that scarf. I do like that scarf. It's quite a Catalan look. That like quite big jacket and the scarf, that kind of colour
scarf.
Yeah, they do love to.
You envious? Have you got scarf envy?
No, I don't, because I love I like a good pattern on my scarf, and I like the material of the kind of cashmere style material, because otherwise it's a bit too itchy. So
I feel you.
You sound like such a classy bloke with that gravelly voice saying you like a bit of cashmere. I'm a bit bowled over, so I feel a bit inferior at the moment.
There was an overhit pass from Liverpool right then. Went out for a throw. And Bernardo, they had the camera on Bernardo Silva, and he went. It was amazing.
Who do you actually think is the better side?
I think City have been better.
Not just today, but in general.
City.
Strongest starting 11, yeah?
City.
Okay, interesting. Thought that'd been more of a divide there. Yeah. City. Next question, Chris. That was rubbish. Will, over to you, mate.
Go on, Sane.
Couple of fan questions to take us into 90 minutes as Sane tries to hold it up in the corner. He's doing so pretty successfully.
Kill him.
Shaqiri's
There we go.
Had an effect
Second
to
go.
that was the goal he deserved.
I know. I got all grabby and everything.
Grabby Lineker.
man. That would have been it. That would have been the icing on the cake.
Oh my God! Would he have said? I wanted him to celebrate.
What's
that.
Lovren doing?
I tweeted before the game, like, I'd love it if Sterling gets the winner and a guy gave me a bit of stick. I'd go
whammy.
straight, I'd go straight to him if that went in.
Dejan Lovren has just kind of toe-poked that up.
Oh my God!
Towards his own goal there.
Come on.
He was tempting fate when he said they're
How
going to
many
go and
minutes have
beat
we
him,
done?
wasn't he? I mean, I like Lovren. He was brilliant last year.
Has he said it just for... Have they played a game
like
since?
a week before he
He's
said
cursed it.
What's he done?
If they lose a title, blame Lovren.
Yep.
Probably for many reasons.
Yeah,
Singling
probably
out
more.
individuals
Yeah.
and just blaming them.
Oh, look how
for it.
sad they are.
Oh, the travelling
tragic.
fans thought they were going to see the title secured here today. It doesn't look like it's going to happen, but there is 5 minutes of
5
injury
minutes,
time.
oh.
Yes.
5 minutes where Otamendi and Lovren could very well kill someone still. So, you know,
we
stay
can only
tuned.
hope.
Get your comments below. We want to hear...
Bad.
We want your questions for full time. We want your last minute score predictions. Get subscribed to us on Soccer AM. And oh, here we go. Breathless last five. Trent Alexander-Arnold picking out Fabinho.
Bernardo Silva's still chasing everything down.
He won you over a little bit today, man. This is the most complimentary
Yeah.
I've heard you sound
I
about
told you
Bernardo
earlier in the
Silva.
season, I didn't like him as an attacking midfielder, and I know he still is that. But
You like him as a DM?
Yeah. What's impressed me today is his defensive work.
I think he's so much better in the middle than he was on the right.
Oh,
He's
so
started-
intelligent.
and his touch is incredible at times.
come
He's definitely won a lot of the City fans over just immediately. And but this season he's really blossomed. I think he got the most appearances of our whole squad last season. I know a lot of them were sub appearances, but still. I think he played. He played every game?
I'm not sure. I don't know if it's every
He played
game, but
48 or something.
Yeah,
Pep
something nuts.
certainly trusts him an awful lot,
and
doesn't he?
this season with KDB being out, he's really shown that he's
Don't give away.
a phenomenal player and can hold his own in this team.
I mean, like kind of you guys are intimating, like with how impressed you have been on the defensive end. He's really smart, and I feel like he can play a number of roles.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if he's like world class in any one given role, but he'd be perfect to have in your squad, wouldn't he? Just to fill a number of
I
roles.
remember I was at the City game when we played Monaco in the Champions League, and he, the 5-3, and he just dominated us, absolutely dominated us. And I was saying that I'd love a player like him to come, just to kind of.
Your wishes were answered.
Yeah, I'm very lucky to have him. To be
Does
fair.
anyone have any idea how much extra time there is in this?
It was
game?
5,
five,
meant to be 5. Yeah.
Right, okay.
So 2.5 minutes left.
Oh wow, that's a
Last
great
box, right?
turn from Sturridge.
I think it's the first time Sturridge has touched it, isn't it? It's lovely.
I
little
think
turn
he
there.
took a throw.
And
So
they put Van Dijk up front. Yeah, they have.
what is happening?
Virgil's gone auxiliary forward. Sometimes did it for
Just
Celtic.
boots, just
Did
boots
used to
it.
take free kicks as
Wow, I
well, the
thought
big
that
man.
was a
So
handball
got good technique for a big man. Can you imagine how
He looks like he's been in.
How
the
It damn it looks
how
like he's finished a
insufferable
marathon.
how insufferable would Liverpool fans be if Van Dijk scored the equaliser?
Pretty
You know
bad.
what he's got in him, what he did in the derby, that could be popping up. A little slice volley.
Yeah, the assist.
That's a great
Yeah.
ball.
Oh, they did.
Hit in the big
my God.
Dutchman.
I'm so scared right now. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, here it
drums
comes.
and
That's it.
This is where Raz can score on camera.
Why?
Who's done that?
Why has he done that?
Did he just try and shoot?
Yeah.
He was surrounded by
busy
3
comfort
guys.
zone.
Just pass it to anyone who can run.
I bet Pep's scarf would have been off
It's
again.
become
Yeah,
pump
yeah.
it long. We're in that territory
Yes,
now.
well
1
done.
minute left.
Close him down.
Yeah,
Otamendi.
this is where you want Gabriel Jesus instead of Aguero, because he
that
just
Fernandinho
like
again?
he will run after that ball. He will run after every single ball.
And Otamendi lives for this. Just coming through people with his forehand.
This has been one of the best individual performances I've seen this season from Fernandinho.
Yeah,
he's been
he's
super.
phenomenal.
He's been out.
He's
no,
so
I mean,
important to the
I've seen
squad.
this season, and it happens to be from Fernandinho. He's been outrageously good.
Even just those little bits
He's-
of him,
yes.
when he's getting in the face from minute one.
Yeah, I can't believe how good he's been. And he's done all the technical stuff and the tough stuff really well.
Sterling as well. And I actually think that Robertson's been fantastic for Liverpool.
That's been very good. Considering how good Raheem Sterling's been as well.
Yeah.
He's got burnt a couple of
actually,
times, but he's stopped a couple of
Yeah, but he-
really
yeah.
dangerous
He's
counters.
forced Raheem to go through the middle instead of around the outside of him.
It's actually, Raheem's taken up a really smart sort of channel, hasn't he, in between the centre-back and the left-back. So it's kind of like, is he Robertson's man? Is he Van Dijk's? Well, not Van Dijk's
Quite
anymore,
flexible
is
as well, like Sonny Aguero on that right-hand
Still
side.
hasn't been taken, this goal kick. The ball went out there a minute ago.
I absolutely love Edison.
Edison, everyone looks like they've been through a night out. Like, it's like a stage.
I actually saw Edison in Berlin.
He's been booked for time wasting, apparently.
Setting off
I'm hearing from a
fireworks.
little carrier pigeon.
Checkpoint Charlie.
AKA the
I
Children.
think he's got booked for that time wasting.
Yeah, he has.
He should get booked for that tattoo.
All right, 10 seconds of the 5 minutes added on remaining. It looks like Manchester City are going to success. Oh, hello. Bernardo. Is he getting booked for this?
He's not got the ball.
You got the ball.
Absolutely
There's
He's a little pixie. Can't book him.
that. You've got
Reminds me a bit
Bernardo
of,
Waite.
Brett from Flight of the Conchords.
Yeah, he is like Brit.
He's like who?
Brett from Flight of the Conchords.
Yeah.
That kind of
Nice niche reference there.
yeah.
So I'm proper into it.
Very good.
Is that it?
That is
That's
it. All over. Manchester City win. The title race is back
Win
on.
the title.
And Pep Guardiola is absolutely delighted. Just 4 points behind Liverpool now. Liverpool retain top spot. Spurs second. Manchester City. City actually go second, I think.
Yep. 4 points.
The league
behind
table will come up soon, so I won't jump the gun. But for now, let's just enjoy a bit of Blue Moon and the final scenes. James Wayne, big sigh of relief from you there. Liverpool in it until the very end. That was after quite a cagey first half, a high quality second
Yeah,
half.
I think we were actually quite lucky to come out of that with a win. The fact that we started off with a horrendous potential own goal. I asked for them to go in, so to come out 2-1 on that, like I predicted, yeah, great. Yeah, just really, I'm ecstatic, to be fair. Title race is back on. Beating Liverpool can't be better, to be fair.
Final thoughts on the actual game before we answer a few audience questions. Pat, starting with you. Work your way through to Will.
I think actually, when you take into account that one-on-one in the first half, I'd be surprised if the chances that City created were actually bigger overall than the chances Liverpool created. I think the balance of the game, City felt like they were on top, but in terms of chances, I didn't really think there was much in it at all. But they'll be delighted, and after this, I think, you know, like I said, I think they play Arsenal at home in the second half of the season. I think Spurs, Chelsea, these are all home games. I think they only go away to United, is that right?
What, Liverpool?
You played no, City. They played you at the Etihad before, I think.
And Liverpool also still needs to coast Old Trafford as well.
Yeah, so it'd be interesting to see how those kind of fixtures go. But now you look at it and you think they still need to screw up 2 results, but they're going to draw a couple of games. You know, it's not like they haven't done that. So I don't know. It feels like it's very gettable, especially now. It's going to come down to how they do in the Champions League and injuries. Like there's so many variables.
It makes rotation less a harder option, doesn't it, to exercise? Now they've only got a smaller lead. McCubbin, any thoughts on the 90?
Not really. I mean, we haven't had a cliche yet, so I'm just going to say it's the stuff of champions.
There we go. Quality.
Take that from that what you will. No, I think City deserved the win just on the strength of those 2 chances that they had. Just 2 great goals, weren't they? But
it'd be interesting to see how
I'd
expected
feel a little
goals
bit of
plays
guilt
out.
as a Liverpool fan, just from the amount of goal mouth scrambles that there were in that second half.
Yeah.
It was touch and go.
Liverpool still marginal favourites for everyone?
Yeah.
I'm going to go. I think City will go on a minute now. I do think City will go on a
City
minute.
in the ascendancy,
Yeah.
Blue Moon rising from McCubbin. What do you think? The blue over there in the corner?
I think City, just because of what you were talking about earlier, De Bruyne's come back into full fitness. They're
Didn't
probably
even play the
strengthening
game,
January, and I think like David Silva coming back into fitness, seems to be happening at the right time.
Yeah.
All the stars are aligning at the Etihad. Let's have a look at the table to see how things are looking. Liverpool still top on 54 points. Manchester City do pick Tottenham for second place on 50. Tottenham third on 48. And it gets interesting in 5th and 6th as well. A few bets round the office, responsible bets, of course, just for a laugh, that Manchester United will finish above Arsenal. What do you think to that, boys?
Very real possibility, isn't it?
Yeah,
No.
I think when they were being made, I was very much that United weren't going to be anywhere near Arsenal, but I think the fact that the players have been released, let's say, from the shackles of Mourinho, doesn't look good for Arsenal. I think they could catch them up.
Just the goal difference that United have now is just would have been unthinkable a month ago. It is actually staggering. We were in minus goal difference. Now we've got plus 11, which is some way going towards.
Very
On
true.
the other hand, you've had an easy run, and we've played Liverpool twice, so
Like that last-minute retort from Van Straalen, it's a very legitimate point. Let's take a look at the bottom half of the table. Looking grim for Huddersfield, bottom on 10 points with a minus 24 goal difference. Meunier, of course, scoring maybe his first of this season, second, but still not enough to secure them any points in their last game. Fulham, I think Southampton are good enough to escape that bottom 3, boys. But for me, Fulham and Huddersfield, they're dead and buried. More so Huddersfield. But who do you think is going down other than Huddersfield in 20th?
Newcastle.
You think Newcastle?
Really?
Brad?
Yeah.
So why is that? Just
I think
Rafa's
Rafa
miraculous
Benitez
run
is
of
like
momentum.
slowly just realised. Well, he's been realised all along, but they won't strengthen again in January. And like Neil Warnock is like captured the whole Cardiff City centre. Like he's got them galvanised.
You're so pro Warnock.
I am. I've made the
You're
prediction. I'm
absolutely
sticking with it. I think
play.
like they're all sipping from his punch, and it's not been spiked.
So I reckon.
That's the best one yet.
I mean, I'm going to go for me. I think. Well, I mean, Burnley have escaped it in recent weeks, but I'm going to go potentially Newcastle as well. Let's go back to the feature game. Though. Let's get everyone to send in their questions for the guys. Any final thoughts? Please get your comments below. We're going to be here for another 5-10 minutes. Hit us up, and you'll get answers from Post Berlin McCubbin, Patrick Van Straten, who looks very fetching in that colour, and James Wayne, who's been through the ringer. What's top of the pile, Will?
Lots of people picking out personal performances. So a comment here saying Lovren, best centre back in the world, but very sarcastically, how do we rate his performance today?
Not great. He was a little bit shaky for that.
Yeah.
I think that early yellow card stopped him from playing his game, let's say. But, I mean, average. I didn't really stand out at all.
A few awkward moments. Wasn't horrendous, though. But, I mean, you've got to expect it to look a little bit lumbering when you're up against the likes of Sterling, haven't you?
Yeah.
Any other people that people are giving special mention to?
There was talk around the substitution. Obviously, James Milner came off, but Joaquin Silva said Jordan Henderson should have come off. He's very overrated.
Ooh, Jordan Henderson.
Well,
His
what
days
pivotal
limited
change?
as captain. Will he? I feel like he is a player that, in order to get to the next level, might be phased out sooner rather than later by a Naby Keita or by a Fabinho. What do you reckon to that, lads?
That would be the natural progression. You can't really see him being a dead set starting anymore like he was last season.
Yeah, especially with
well,
Ox
he
coming
was great last season, but yeah, I think he was all right today. But yeah, you would expect Fabinho to take his place.
I thought Fabinho was quite prominent actually after he came on. I think he played pretty positively. Pato, what do you think to the mentions for those two players?
Yeah, I think Fabinho is overall better and he's younger. I've been surprised at how progressive his passing has been so far this season. I thought when he came on today, he passes forward a lot, and obviously we saw him get that assist against Man United as well for the opening goal. So he does have a decent range of passing. I think Naby Keita is really the wild card, but he's the guy who you think is going to be the superstar. But when I look at them, I think a future midfield three of Fabinho, Keita, and Oxlade-Chamberlain.
Yeah.
That's really exciting to me.
That's quick, isn't it? The transition would be lightning there. James, I'm going to ask you a really reductive question now, mate. So you said Raheem Sterling took the game by the scruff of the neck. Who's going to be more important as the season comes to a close? Sterling, Aguero, or a resurgent KDB? Who's one player you can't live without?
Fernandinho, yeah.
Fernandinho?
Easily.
Gone left field.
It's just because, as I said, we don't have a player that can do what he does. We can't have a player who can... I mean, you're saying taking the game by the scruff of the neck. That is Fernandinho. He will take the ball off you and give it to someone who's going to do something fantastic. Or, every now and again he'll do something fantastic himself. But we saw it early on the season when he wasn't there. We lost 2 games in a row, came back, played extremely well against Southampton. Played extremely well today. Well, I wouldn't say extremely well, but played well today. And I think majority of that is down to him, his leadership on the pitch, as well as his ability to kind of break up play and deliver it to somebody else.
Yeah, I think blink and you miss a lot of the stuff that he does, because while I was asking you guys questions, I kept hearing Pato say Fernandinho's incredible, McCubbin as well. So I think a lot of his traits do go underappreciated. Have we got any more questions for the boys? Last few?
Yeah, well, there's a lot. I think this describes the modern football fan, really, because it says one guy's come in and said that's why Jurgen Klopp will never win trophies. Way too slow for changes. But then Dan, the YouTuber, just said it's just one loss, guys. We still have the same game left to obliterate City, and it is just one loss, isn't it?
Yeah.
And to only just lose to City at home, a very, very good City, it's not too hard to swallow, right? Do you guys, how down do you think Klopp will be at this point?
No, I don't think he will, because especially when Liverpool, gave as good as they got, more or less, put them under a lot of pressure in the closing minutes. It wasn't an awful performance from Liverpool at all. but you know, they're not invincible anymore. I just think they're right. I think Liverpool will stand to lose more points, and City could as well. But I don't know. I just think City know. There's just a bit more winning experience in that City team in terms of they did it last season. They probably know how to manage games a little bit better than Liverpool in general. If you look at the players in their squad.
Do you think they're going to get hung up now on City chasing them, City being so close? That must.
Yeah, for sure. And I was thinking, like, when Liverpool first went top in December, I was like, this won't last. I've actually been quite impressed how, obviously City capitulated over Christmas, but Liverpool have sustained the performances and got even, the scorelines have got bigger and bigger. But I'd be interested to know when Liverpool last held a lead for this long at the top of the league, because I think even in that Brendan Rodgers season with Suarez, they only really went top kind of after April. I think it was they were only actually top for about 2 or 3 weeks when they thought they could win it.
Before that disastrous Palace result,
Yeah, so like I'd be interested to see the last time they were top of the league for this long, because it's been a good nearly month now, hasn't it?
I mean, like you said, that stopping power is tangible progress.
I agree. So one last question from Will before we get our best bits from the Football Social. Yes, there is one. Probably none from the first half, let's face it.
We've talked about him a lot today. Do you think Manchester City's season hinges on Fernandinho's availability?
Yeah, 100%. Unless we can bring a player like that in January, which I doubt, then I think so. He just looks so fragile when he's not in.
Do you think with KDB back, though, that could maybe mask it a little bit more? Because KDB's been out the whole time, and I feel like, because he adds a lot of solidity to that midfield as well, doesn't he? Like,
I do, I agree, but there is that element of just relentlessness with Fernandinho that you don't get with KDB. But, I mean, KDB is phenomenal. I can't take anything.
But I feel like, say, like Gundogan in that midfield with KDB is better than Gundogan with
obviously
Silva and Bernardo Silva.
Having one of the two in is obviously going to do a lot for the team, and you are right with it, KDB in when Fernandinho is out does mask it somewhat, but I think we've managed to still perform well attacking when KDB isn't in, but defensively when Fernandinho isn't in the team, we have looked suspect at times.
More important, I suppose, to have Fernandinho for a game like that as opposed to KDB in many ways, which says a lot about Fernandinho. We've actually got a cheeky little promo to throw to before we see our best bits. It is Sunday, January 13th. The Football Social is back after the FA Cup weekend, and it's back with a bang. Tottenham versus Manchester United live on Soccer AM and Football Daily YouTube. Will really enjoying the royalty-free music off screen here. He's got the drum going and everything. But I would be absolutely ecstatic if you returned to join us for that game. A massive thank you to all the lads on the sofa. It's been like just another 2.5 hasn't it? It's absolutely magic. Cheers, James, who dealt very amicably with that pressure, high pressure game. Pato, McCubbs, and Will, as ever, on the end, our adopted child. Here are the best bits. Oh no! Here we go! Oh, the post!
Oh my God!
Oh no! Oh my God. That would have been the worst goal to concede in the circumstances. And around the 12-yard area. Oh, Sergio Aguero.
100%.
7 goals,
Love it.
7 games. Take your mic off and get out, all right? Oh, Bobby Firmino, the man of the hour, has scored from about 2 yards.
Just spat everywhere.
Just sorry. Sergio Aguero to finish the game.
What's happening?
Great save! Oh, Shaqiri's
There we go.
Winner!
Had an effect on the goal.
That was the goal he deserved.